might help if I, Movie and a unicorn, and popcorn. I saw unicorns and friends. All I had was a grand. Making an Exodus movie show was getting good. I got my popcorn. Hot summer, got a beat, got some heat, can't beat it. Add this to your playlist. Do you understand the music show? Apocalyptic movie show. I got my popcorn 2 degrees. Nothing like watching this movie show. So many to choose from. Got my popcorn, yeah. Hope you got your popcorn too. Living in a post-apocalyptic movie show. The movie and a unicorn. Movie and a popcorn. Movie and a popcorn. I saw a unicorn and San Fran. All I had was a grand. Making an Exodus movie show is getting good. Got my popcorn getting really deep. It got some heat, can't beat it. Add this to your list. Do you understand the music of the apocalyptic movie show? I got my popcorn too. 100 degrees, nothing like watching a movie show. So many to choose from. Got my popcorn, yeah. Hope you got your popcorn, yeah. Living in a popcorn movie show. Movie and a unicorn. Movie and a unicorn show. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. There's no troubles here. Like a light on a train, southwest bound. Time stop running, let the rain wash it away. Gotta walk the line, no more fines. Gonna walk the line, sing a song of long ago. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. Where we gonna start? Gonna start on spare time. Ghost Bear time. No, I'm not man in the moon. That has the sound so profound. Man with the sound so profound to be found. A little bit never hurt no one. A little bit never hurt no one. Go for the show. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. Just need a scarecrow to scare the children. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. There's no troubles here. Like a light on a train, south windbound. Time to stop running, let the rain wash it away. Gotta walk the line, no more fines. Gonna walk the line, sing a song long ago. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. Well, where we start our Ghost Bear time. No, I'm not the man in the moon that has the sound. Sound so profound, man with a sound. So profound to be found. A little bit never hurt no one. Go for the show. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. Just need a scarecrow to scare the children. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. There's no troubles here. Like a light on a train, southwest bound. Time to stop running, let the rain wash it away. Gotta walk the line, no more fines. Gotta walk the line, sing a song long ago. Welcome to the Ghost Bear Show. Hey, how's everyone doing today?
Oh,
Doing good.
I like it. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, you like the ending there?
I like the beginning where you said starting on bear time.
Did you notice what's on the end there?
No, I did not.
Right there.
Oh wait, am I
The
looking?
ending says subscribe to FinalDeathStar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So
see it there. Yep.
so each one I'll feature a channel.
Oh, nice.
Each song that I do from
Well,
now
thank
on.
you very much.
We'll come back to that
Good.
for the intercession. We'll come back to waiting on the sauce.
Yeah.
Eating on the sauce. Boy, aren't we though?
Yeah, we are.
Aren't
We want the sauce. We want it now.
We do.
Yeah, because
Cook it up.
The sauce, it's either applesauce, it's peach sauce, or
Tomato sauce.
information sauce,
Information sauce. Truth
It's a good
sauce.
one.
coffee
Sauce is
sauce.
good. Pesto.
Matter of fact, Italian roast Pete's. Good stuff.
Lightly fluoridated water. Yum.
Um,
Can't see
Fluoride's
my
good for
camera,
you.
but I have a can of
This-
Monster.
This was made with water that has no fluorination, but it does have chlorination. But it's barely noticeable. It's, yeah. So yeah, good coffee. Decent water. Fluoride. It's one of those things they put in toothpaste and all that stuff. And they put it in the water.
Yeah, they say it's
Well,
good for you.
They say.
say.
But in Thurston County, there is no fluorination going on in the water.
Good.
It's been that way for a number of years now.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, when I first moved here, the water was so good that my hair grew like 5 extra inches really fast. Because normally back when my hair was pretty much down to my ass, on the full moon I would cut about between 4 and 6 inches off, and in between those stages, it grew past that a little bit by a couple inches, and so it grew like 6 extra, about 2 extra inches after the 6 inches, and just like really good water, good for your hair and all that. But yeah, what'd you think of the Star Trek episode?
It was a good one because
Part one.
part one. Yeah, it's a good one because it's it shows Spock kind of you don't really know where it's headed.
Mm.
No.
You
The
think
opening,
he's being
the
a traitor?
opening, yeah, the opening of this episode was very clever, and the way they kind of went into the credits then at the very start when you see Spock. Yeah, I found this. Listen, I have to let you in with a little secret. I watched the first part, I watched the second part, and then I
I
went
think
back
you're
to
breaking up.
and then I went back to the very beginning, and I watched from the beginning. But this was a very clever episode. The dialogue between Kirk and McCoy when Kirk was questioning Spock's loyalty, basically, would he lie? McCoy's defense of him. I thought that scene between those two guys was absolutely amazing. I hadn't seen this for about 10 years, so it was. Thank you for actually inviting me on to actually do this because it's good to see some great Trek again. I won't talk about the other stuff that's going on in the Trek universe, but this was brilliant. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen, to be quite honest with you. Very clever story.
Yeah, I thought so.
It's great. It fleshes out Spock's backstory. There's a mystery happening with Spock. The Pike reveal I thought was kind of like, whoa, geez. Yeah. The whole mystery aspect of it, the trial aspect of it, I love it all. It's just very well done. And the funny thing is, this was like they didn't have enough episodes to fill the season, so this was kind of like a cut and paste job. this was the TOS kind of Shades of Grey episode where they integrated, footage that they had that didn't do so well, and it works so much better in the Menagerie, I think, than it does the Cage as a standalone. The Cage as a standalone was a bit of a snooze for me.
Well, for the Cage, it's got to be one of those things where I like it.
I enjoyed that.
I enjoy it, but the Cage really it doesn't move real fast in the story, and in its story, I think if it did move fast, it would feel rushed.
Yeah. And what a different Captain Pike is from Kirk. Very stoic.
I like Captain Pike though. I see. I was too young, so maybe one of you guys on the panel will be able to explain to me. But he was in the pilot, yeah, and then obviously, then when I watched the next episode, William Shatner is in it. Is there any explanation to that? Was that always the plan? That have Shatner, or was the guy that played Pike replaced by Shatner?
Was the guy who played Pike, was he supposed to be cast as Kirk, or was he?
Well, here's kind of what happened. So they did the original pilot, The Cage, and Paramount didn't like it, or not Paramount, Desilu didn't like it, or the studio didn't like it. So they did the extraordinary thing and ordered a second pilot, which they never do.
Right.
Jeffrey Hunter was supposed to come back and play Pike.
There was 3 pilots made.
Well, yeah. So Jeffrey Hunter was supposed to come back and play Pike, but apparently he was either playing hardball with the studio, and some say that it was because his wife was being like, Lady Macbeth, and was kind of running his career. She's like a Yoko Ono. And so they didn't like that, so they decided not to continue with Jeffrey Hunter, and that's when they got William Shatner in instead as the captain, and they just changed the look of the show a little bit. I do think William Shatner works better as a captain for the show.
Oh, yeah. It's perfect.
But what's also sad about Jeffrey Hunter is that I believe he died of cancer shortly after The Cage, a few years after.
Oh, he was really young then.
Yep.
Wow. That's
wow.
I actually think he's a good captain. Is he better than Kirk? No, I agree there, but I wouldn't have minded seeing him now personally in even a spin-off. I know they're thinking of doing one now with the actor that was in Discovery. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but if it's got Kurtzman over it, forget about it as far as I'm concerned.
I've got some new
Can't
thoughts.
have Kurtzman anywhere near it.
Yeah,
I've got some new thoughts about Pike.
From this episode?
From The Cage and from this episode, their portrayal of Pike, and it's the one conversation between the Doctor and Pike when he brings him a martini.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
He was talking about wanting to retire, feeling wore out, and this is a familiar story. It should be familiar because if you remember when they started off in the Wrath of Khan with Kirk, he was doing something similar with Bones on his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And they did something with Star Trek Beyond, something similar in there.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
And so I think that Pike, he was the archetype of the process that leads to Kirk. So you had to have, because of the storylines and the writings, I think it's what led to Kirk being created. Because if we didn't have Pike, we definitely would not have had a Kirk. It'd have been different.
The interesting... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, okay. There's an interesting conspiracy theory that Gene Roddenberry was lacing Star Trek with Masonic imagery, and that Pike was named after Albert Pike, who wrote...
oh, interesting. Yeah.
That is.
And that the Enterprise was named the Enterprise because I forget the exact detail on it, but supposedly, the capstone, the unfinished capstone, the Enterprise is to get that completed. Is to get the capstone done.
That's a term? That's a term? You mean the Enterprise is the term?
The Enterprise, yeah.
That capstone? Interesting. I was not aware of that. Now I really want to look into that.
Wow.
Here's an interesting frame of thought. in terms of story. When you see a character and they're saying, "I want to retire. I'm too tired for this," all that stuff, that gives the audience an instant understanding that there is history and also experience in this particular character, and which immediately elevates them to the father figure within the story the context of the story. So when every time you see this being played out constantly, whether it's a police show, a doctor show, sci-fi, and all that stuff, they want to give the audience an instant recognition. Okay, this is the father. This is the high ground in terms of the characters here, and that everybody else that's introduced is the child.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It's a literal gag. You can play this out even in ghost stories and stuff like that.
Right. Well, I remember it in what was Lee Major's bounty hunter show called? Fall Guy.
The Fall Guy, yeah.
Fall Guy, yeah. The father archetype in the story. In that show, all those old shows, the old police shows, there was always the Barney Miller. There was the father archetype in the storyline, and nowadays in TV shows, they want to show examples of fathers broken and bad fathers and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, definitely a major theme.
Because we're horrible human beings we are now. Yeah.
And
they're always like the goofy, kind of incompetent, make the joke, the joke's on them most of the time with fathers in TV shows these days.
Yeah.
A little bit of the goofiness and a little bit of the jokes on oneself, a little bit of that goes a long way. It's just when they do it all the time and just make the father the bad guy.
Right. It works when it's like, like I thought a good balance of that was Home Improvement. Because he was, kind of a jokester, kind of, some of the jokes were on him, but I never felt like Tim Allen's character was incompetent. Right. He was still like a guy kind of trying to figure it out. Like he was still in control of the household. And I always thought that was a good example of how you make a comical leading father, but not make it spoofy, where it's like, King of Queens, although it's a funny show, he was kind of always the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like King Queens. I like him in it. It's a fun show, but it was like it started that trend of like the father's the goofball who doesn't ever get anything right, and the wife is the one who's, and it starts I think impacting the viewers watching it. You're watching this and you're thinking, oh, okay, so the role of the dad is to be the screw up kind of funny guy, and and the role of the wife is to be the one who's level headed and in charge and knows what's going on, and the father screws up and the wife cleans up the mess. Which eventually leads to this replacement of the roles in the household from what's kind of
Hail Chief Eddie.
Hail Chief Eddie. What's up, Eddie?
I do think in Home Improvement he gave some really good heart-to-heart speeches.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I say he's like a great example.
See, the thing about it is though, there was balance, and there's no balance today. And you see, these people that are behind these shows or writing these shows don't realize the damage that they're actually doing, because young people are going to be watching these, right? Young guys are going to be watching these things, and they're going to be looking at it and saying, well, am I really a bad person? Do I need to check? You know what I mean? And it changes behavior. It might sound like a corny saying, but let boys be boys. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, you can teach your kids right from wrong. That's parents' responsibility. And if you bring your kids up properly, well then more than likely they're going to turn out fine, unless they have a screw loose and you can't help that, and then they go out and do something that you wish they didn't do. But not every young lad that's grown up is going to be if you were to listen to people on Twitter, they're going to grow up to be toxic males. They're gonna sexually harass women, all of this rubbish. It's
not if they got some male role model teaching them right from wrong and telling them what they shouldn't and should do.
Exactly.
But see, I don't think that the people who are pushing this stuff. I don't think that they aren't aware of how this is impacting. I think it's a planned agenda. I think they're doing it on purpose.
Oh no, it is a
Yeah,
planned
I'd
agenda.
agree with that.
Let's make it. Let's make that clear. This is a planned agenda. This hasn't happened by accident. These people know exactly what they're doing, and it's absolutely disgraceful. Because at the end of the day, we watch TV shows like Star Trek, like the Star Wars, the big franchise, Doctor Who, wherever sci-fi show or whatever murder mystery show you're into. We watch TV to escape the real world for an hour or two. It's that escapism. We watch certain shows might bring us back to our childhood, or we watch new shows that are out today that excite. You don't get that now. Everything is filled with agenda. It's agenda driven. Story takes a back step, and it's unfortunate because you look at what we watched tonight. I watched that episode tonight, so I could actually talk about it. Because if I watch it the day before, I kind of forget things, so I have to watch it fresh. But what we watched tonight, that writing is just absolutely superb. I'm sorry, even back then, that writing today stands the test of time. It's absolutely fantastic. The dialogue in it is absolutely amazing. It's just there was the right amount of tension. There was just the even the court martial, even when they were sitting down and stuff, and we were seeing all of this unfold. It was gripping. You were glued to the screen. Not anymore,
Right.
No,
It's the writing. It's the writing.
Poor.
Yep.
It's poor.
Absolutely.
It's basically it's storytelling, and the people that were writing the scripts for Star Trek, they were storytellers, and basically, to me, it looked like a lot of stagecraft they were using as well with their lighting and all that stuff.
They were clever. They weren't lazy back then, though. That's the thing. They weren't lazy. They actually cared about their craft.
Yeah.
They actually wanted to entertain. They wanted to make money. But now it's like they're rewarding people that are talentless. And here's the thing, though. For anybody saying that there's no talent out there, there is. The problem is that the talent is not actually getting the jobs, because you know why? Because the talent have a brain of their own, and they don't necessarily follow certain agendas, and they just want to write. And they're the people that aren't getting the jobs, and they give the people that will do what a studio tells them to do. And then we get all this crap that we've got in the last 4 years now. We've been getting this ridiculous entertainment.
I mean, we've got George on the panel right now, and I mean, he's a super talented creator. His comic book is amazing, and he's created a compelling character. It's funny. It's not it's not preachy to anything. Our community is full of people that are talented, and you're right. They're not getting the jobs because they're not pushing the agendas. I mean, Kurtzman pretty much came out and said,
"I seen that clip. It's the
Tyler Mongo.
Hail, Tyler."
He turned around and says that it's a platform for him to push whatever agenda.
The politics. Politics come first over Star Trek. So
and then the defenders will say, "But Star Trek was always political." Yeah, okay, fair enough, but it wasn't used as a platform. You know what I mean? It was, if they were gonna do something like that, they always balanced it out. They let the audience make up their mind.
It was always the two sides of the coins kind of thing going on with Star Trek.
Yeah,
well, here's an interesting frame of thinking regarding this, is that Kurtzman is a bully. Every single one of these people who co-ops something that's established and has a built-in audience, they come in, they're bullies, to the core. If you take it as simple as possible, they come in, they push you off your little box that you're standing on, that the audience is listening. They push you off that box, and they start telling you what they think.
Yeah.
Because you already built up your audience. And here's the interesting thing. yes, creatives exist, and they're all over the place. They're not, they remove a lot of the bias in their works, because a lot of the works in history are without bias. You take your personal bias and you apply to the Iliad or to the Odyssey or to anything by Shakespeare, and you spin it left or spin it right, and that's the beauty of it. And while all this is happening, the one thing that people don't understand is the level, the form of bullying is no longer physical in today's world. It's not physical at all. The silly things that are happening out there with protests are statistically invisible compared to the bullying that happens on a mental scale.
Yeah.
Every single day.
I know. It's disgraceful. And then you have the creators that have been employed, and then you see them on social media attacking the very customer that actually is supposed to be buying their stuff.
Yeah, I'll pair it out.
It's just absolute. I don't know how we got to this point, to be quite honest with you. I mean, it just seems madness to me that they don't want to make money, because they're not making money. So, I mean, come on, start this show that we watched tonight. If you were to put that on, well, it's on Netflix now, actually.
Yep.
I think it's got a 94 rating or something on Netflix or something like that.
Also, Netflix is the only place you can watch The Cage.
Oh, is it?
I think it might be on Amazon.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's one of the. It's part of Prime, actually.
All right.
Included.
Well, it is. The original series will always be the benchmark, and it's in my opinion. It's just my opinion. I think it's untouchable, actually. To be honest, I think it's far superior than that, and that's came after it. Not to say that the other shows haven't had their merits in their own right, but the original Trek, for me, yeah, it'll always be up there for me as the best.
Gonna be honest, I slightly preferred TNG for a while, but after Picard dropped, TOS has gone up dramatically over TNG. It's I can't watch. I mean, I can still enjoy it, but I can't. I can't see. It makes me think of Picard, and then I get pissed.
Oh, don't here. Listen, I revealed.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say it. Yeah.
I revealed that with Rabbi. It's a guy that I stream with, and it was probably the most. How many episodes was there? 8 or something. It was the worst 8-10 weeks of my life, man. Oh my God, it was.
Here's something interesting regarding the new stuff and the old stuff. Is Star Trek continues in Star Trek Phase 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, specific. I'm just pointing out those specifically. When is it a fan film, and when is it canon? If you're actually using writers from the original Star Trek series, actors from the original Star Trek series, the level of production stages from the original Star Trek series. So where is it? Where's the line drawn that it is a fan film or fan fiction as opposed to canon?
Ownership of the property, unfortunately. But I hear what you're saying, George, because I've been doing some watch parties. We're watching Star Trek Continues right now because I just couldn't stand the new stuff, and it's brilliant. It's both episodic and it's serialized. There's a season-wide arc. I mean, I know you know this, but and just like the writing is so good, the homage, they hit all of the right beats. There are Easter eggs. Like they had Lou Ferrigno play a freaking Orion. That was amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And my thinking is, with all this, and see, this is in sharp contrast to what is Picard and Lower Decks and Discovery. Absolute sharp contrast. You're looking at apparently fan fiction that is so close. It's practically canon, 100%, 1-to-1 to the original content. And then you look at the approved product that is so far apart.
It's shocking.
You might as well just slap a different logo
Here's the
on
thing,
it.
though. I can't believe the CBS haven't looked at all of this fan stuff and seen the quality, as you said, and not look at what they're producing and say, right, we've got the wrong people in here. The fans seem to know a lot more than we do. Maybe we should listen to the fans. That's all they have to do, is listen to the fans. Listen, I'm watching Lower Decks. I refuse to say Star Trek. I call it Lower Decks. I don't even give it a name. It doesn't deserve that name. And I don't think anybody should be calling it Star Trek Lower Decks. Just call it Lower Decks. That's what it is. It's Lower Deck. It's Lower Dregs. It's absolutely
low expectation.
It's awful. It's awful. Listen. I thought Picard was bad. This spits all over Gene Roddenberry's grave. I'm sorry. I was really angry. It is absolutely annoying as well. If this is supposed to be like Rick and Morty, I'd say to CBS, the guys at CBS, go and watch bloody Rick and Morty, please, because this ain't no Rick and Morty.
No.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, it's all right. I didn't mean to interrupt. You can go ahead and complete your thought.
No, go on. I'm done. I ramble on sometimes, so cut across me. It's good.
Okay. So Lower Decks, we've got 3 of these Kurtzman Trek products, and I made the analogy before. So I'm going to say, probably Star Trek Discovery is diarrhea, and Star Trek Picard is vomit. Lower Decks, I think, is probably just a regular old dump with the bits of corn in it. So I didn't think it was. I thought it was the best of the Kurtzman Treks, but again, we're comparing diarrhea, vomit, and just like a regular lump of shit. So
I'd actually go worse and say Lower Decks is like that sore that you have on your leg or your arm that gets infected and has that pus coming out of it. That's how bad Lower Decks is. It's a disgrace. It's absolutely rubbish, and we don't want to talk about this, to be quite honest with you, but I'll just say this. Listen, 2 episodes I've watched. If you're a young man watching that, you're going to hate yourself.
And the interesting thing is, I heard that the reason why they didn't fire the JJ crew on because of such a poor showing on Discovery and Picard is because the bean counter said, well, it's going to cost us a lot more to bring in a completely different production team and start from scratch than it is to stay the course and then kind of force the existing production team to do better.
That's ridiculous. You just get rid of them, start from scratch. The fans won't care. If it's good, the fans, you'll make the money back. The fans will buy your product if it's good enough.
Give Vic Mignogna a license, let him make it, take a cut.
Yeah.
So problem solved.
Fans want to spend cash.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's not as if we don't want to.
Stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not as if we don't want to spend our money. We'll spend our money on good product. So start making good product, and then you'll start rolling in the cash again.
I guarantee you, Star Trek Continues probably cost a fraction of the cost of one episode of one of those Kurtzman joints.
Oh my God!
Yes.
An episode of Picard. What was it? $1 million an episode or something? No, was it more? Something?
It was more, way more.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
So yeah, Wes, the Cage is indeed available on Prime. It's episode 0.
Yeah. It comes up on Netflix as the pilot episode here. Has it got the right? Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say Spock behaves very differently in the Cage.
He does. He's got a lot more emotion or something.
He hasn't really gotten his groove down yet. It was. Were we talking last week about? I think, or was it with Gary?
I think it was with Gary. Yeah,
it might have been with Gary. Yeah, Leonard Nimoy couldn't really figure out how to play the character until they said just think of everything as like a problem you're having to solve, and that that kind of opened up the character to him.
Logic and thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved episode 2. Charlie X was actually pretty good as well.
Yes, the fan production, the Star Trek Phase 2, Star Trek Continues people actually got the original actor. They wrote an episode about Charlie X returning. It was pretty good. See, the fans get it. The fans get it. But the Menagerie, yeah, the episode that we're talking about. I mean, what a great episode, because it does flesh out Spock's backstory. And I mean, they give a timeline like he served with Pike 15 years earlier, so it gives you the sense of history that you didn't have. Also, like, ooh, what happened then? What was going on in the Enterprise back then? And the Enterprise just has such a different feel and tone from the Cage era than it did in the Kirk era. And it was really cool to see that.
Something interesting about the Enterprise is that I saw a calculation on the internet, on YouTube. The neck of the Enterprise is basically the length of the Pinto. Structurally, that ship, the Enterprise original model and the Enterprise A, are two very fragile spaceships. and there's not even enough elbow room on the neck of the Enterprise, other than, say, one person walking down a hallway. It's worse. It's worse than the cheapest hotels.
Wow. So they just didn't think of that when they were planning the design out, I guess.
Yes, a clever person on the internet did a size comparison in terms of meters from end to end, and then said, okay, well, if the Enterprise is this much in length and this much in width, therefore the neck is basically the size of a car. And if you think about it, all the shielding, the padding, the thickness of the hull, you literally have a hallway. Basically, you have a hallway. You know those old-fashioned trains when you're, the Orient Express and all that stuff. You have a hallway on one side, while there's cabins on the other side. And when you're actually trying to walk by someone, you have to like hold your stomach in and go sideways.
Yeah.
That's basically the neck of the Enterprise.
Wow.
Yeah.
So down warp speed should actually snap it right off.
Yeah, exactly. And they kind of right, because the elevator itself.
Thanks for coming out, Chris.
The width of the elevator, or the circumference of the elevator, would actually not fit on that neck.
What about the weight of it when you're like planet side?
Exactly.
Sure, when you're in outer space, but when you like land on a planet, wouldn't the weight of it crush the neck?
Actually, my right was look at the
See, now I've got to look it up.
is huge. Actually, so you're telling me that someone has actually cleverly broke this all down and actually showed that this ship is not actually structurally safe.
Exactly.
Well, at least it doesn't have roller coasters going through it, okay?
So the warp coils at the back, they'd snap off as well then. So the whole ship would basically break up if it went into warp speed.
Or even at maximum thrust.
Oh my god.
What does Lower Decks have is that true? Does it have like a roller coaster going through it?
Not Lower Decks, no.
Oh,
Not that I'm aware of.
No, I'm only 2 episodes in. I haven't seen a roller coaster so far.
In the JJ or the Kurtzman Trek, they've got roller coasters going through.
What, Discovery?
Oh, they dropped an F-bomb in Lower Decks as well.
What? Really?
What?
Chris Berger.
Yeah, in the second episode, they dropped an F-bomb. Oh, and they name drop a lot in this series as well. Janeway is being mentioned. Cork is being mentioned. Spock has been mentioned. They so are desperate.
Yeah, they're really trying.
Yeah, they're really trying. Stop with the name drops. Listen, just do us all a favor. Yeah, after this series, don't even think of doing a second one. forget about it.
They're like, we didn't do our homework, so we're just gonna like drop random references here and there.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is how we'll win back the fans. Palpatine,
Yeah.
somehow he
We'll
came
reference
back.
stuff. Yeah,
But
we'll reference stuff.
Oh, they also did rip. I believe he also ripped an eye out of a Borg.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That happened in episode 2. I think that was. I don't know if they were making fun of Picard, that scene, or if they were homaging the scene, or.
Interesting.
But yeah, he plucked an eyeball out of a Borg.
That was actually funny though. That was the
Probably
only,
trying to justify it.
that was the only funny part of that whole episode. In episode 2 was the cyborg fella trying different jobs, and then he gets the job as a security officer, and then the Borg then in a simulation, and he kicks the shit out of them all. It was good. It was good. That part was good, but this is rubbish. This show isn't worthy of the name Star Trek. It is. This someone on the panel just said it there. This is people that haven't done their homework, and it shows, and it's sad. Because Star Trek fans deserve a better product. They're not getting it. It's at least with Star Wars, Disney. Whether you like the Mandalorian or not, they tried to, not appease fans as such.
Hey, Scotty.
They tried to make an effort with the fans, and they produced the Mandalorian. So, this from Kurtzman, it's ridiculous. I mean, did anybody ever think this was going to be good when he made that statement about using Trek as a platform to force these agendas? Like, we need, as fans, we need to stop buying merch. We need to stop buying everything. Hit them where it hurts. Stop buying the subscriptions as well to watch these shows. You know what I mean? You have to hit them where it hurts because they're not getting the message.
Or just only spend your money on the old stuff, like Star Wars. All the old stuff sells really well.
Yeah.
Any of the OT, even the prequel trilogy, sells pretty well. So either don't buy anything or don't buy anything new and just buy the old stuff. Send a message that way. I mean, with Mandalorian, at least you got Favreau, who was, I think, although it's kind of disputed, but I think he's more of an honest fan of Star Wars. Clearly, he's now come out and spoke against the sequel trilogy. He's friends with George. He brought George in. You had Filoni there, who I know Filoni's now kind of a sensitive subject, but he was trained under George. He did put forth a lot of great Clone Wars content. So you had guys that actually cared about Star Wars more so than whatever, KK's agenda was. Where with Kurtzman, I mean, it's all agenda. Like, he's not even trying to hide it. He's like KK unleashed.
Yeah.
It's just not as big as, it's not the platform of Star Wars. Obviously, sequel trilogy is bigger. But, I mean, honestly, I think he's probably, well, I don't know about worse. I wouldn't say worse, but he's more open about it.
Yep. Yeah. He'll take more care with the story. And it's kind of cool that he's come out and said stuff against the sequel trilogy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You need a lot more people to come out down and start speaking about it, because that's just unacceptable for Star Wars. I mean, we were watching the original trilogy there just last week, because the wife is a huge Star Wars fan, and it's just far superior. I mean, again, it's a bunch of clueless people. And they don't care. They don't care about canon. They don't care about the lore of any of these franchises. They have an agenda, and that'll always come first with these people until they're basically replaced by decent talent that will, entertain and care about their craft. A lot of these people don't care because they just want to ruin everything. They said, remember that speech that someone made years ago? We're going to come in and ruin. We've ruined Ghostbusters. We're going to ruin Star Wars, Doctor Who. We're going to take them all off you, right? And we all laughed because we thought
They were
there's no
serious.
way. Yeah, that's what I mean. We
Because you
thought it was
said
a
earlier,
joke.
Final, that it's intentional.
Yeah,
And yeah, they even said
Yeah.
so. They even
Yeah.
said so.
yeah, that's the gas that we thought it was a joke because we never thought it'd happen. Let's be honest. We kind of probably all took our eye off the ball a little bit, but
What's up, Matt Mardigan? How you doing, man?
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Matt Morgan.
It's been a rapid growth. I mean, look where we are now. I don't see any signs of this slowing down either. We're in for a few more years of this kind of entertainment, and it's just, well, it's not even entertainment, is it? We have to
No.
stop calling it entertainment. It's propaganda, isn't it? It's whatever cause it is, and it's just all propaganda. It's just entertainers.
It's become like a giant soapbox for them. The TV, the picture box is their giant soapbox. You know, they just stand up and preach their agenda on.
Yeah.
Tell me something. You seen the little link I sent you for the scene by scene on this? It just feels like we've done this before, but I know we haven't done this episode yet. I don't know if any of you guys are getting any deja vu going on.
Not for this one.
Yeah, I've got a little
yeah,
bit of deja vu going on. It feels like we've done this one before, but I know we haven't. It's just,
No, I don't think we have. I don't think so.
no.
Guys,
I looked.
guys, here's a fun little gag. Share my screen. You're gonna be impressed. I couldn't find the video, so I just got the schematics off the internet. It's 947 feet wide, or sorry, the length. So I just put 10 squares. I'm just rounding it up to 1,000. Okay. So 10 squares from here to here. So I'm rounding it. I'm rounding up the length of the Enterprise, right? 10 squares. So one of these squares equals 100 units. Now let's go to the neck. I'll make the line there. So this square here, it represents 100 units, 100 feet. Look at that.
Wow.
Now I'll just I'll break this unit smaller into 10, into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, into 10 units. I'm going to take these 10 units and stick them into this here. There you go. Two 10 units right here. Basically the size of a car.
Wow.
Wow.
I've not done a deep dive on that.
That is way too small to be holding up that weight.
That's true.
That thing would crush.
How much? Yeah. How much would the dish weigh itself, like the saucer part? How much is that going to weigh? Like,
I mean, I guess it has the stabilizer, or it's got those two rods coming out, but I still don't think that's. I don't know. Maybe you think with those that can hold it up with the two.
No, but the rods are holding up the
You got to remember, in original Star Trek, they showed the ships being made in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, but eventually they have to land on a planet. They're going to encounter gravity, right?
Well,
I mean, do they never
From
land?
what I understand, Constitution class were never designed to atmospheric land.
Well, if that's the case, then they can get away with it. If they never land on a planet, then they could get away with it.
Now, the Voyager, that was designed to land on a planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, thick neck.
Yeah.
Still, it's inconvenient, though, traveling up and down. That would be...
Well, and, I mean, look, this would be the elevator.
Right.
Yeah. Elevator shaft.
So basically, they'd have, what, 2 turbo lifts there?
Yeah.
Well,
One on either side, probably.
Well, I mean, that's all the next 4, right? Or the turbo lifts.
So if that's the case, then why are there windows?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. What's there? It's not that wide.
I can't see someone taking the stairs.
No. Emergency fire exit.
Yeah.
Mandatory on all Starship Federation starships.
Well, in Star Trek V, you remember they numbered the decks oddly, because when Spock had the jet boots, they went past one floor, and then it went up, and then they went down past another floor that they'd already passed, and then they went up again. So there are strange things afoot in the neck of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Could be like the TARDIS.
Yeah, it could be bigger on the inside. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was more of a design thing where they didn't really think about that or plan that out at the time. But once it was out there, it was like,
Yeah.
got to run with it now.
Now, have you done that with the motion picture Enterprise?
The neck is
Refit?
the neck is basically just about as thin as the motion picture, because
Interesting.
the motion picture was just a refit, so they just
Yeah.
had a little padding, but that's about it.
Wow. We certainly love our ships, huh?
Yep.
The suspension of disbelief is large over Star Trek, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, dogfights in space,
Yeah.
Well,
Full
there's no
impulse.
gravity in space, so it doesn't really need to hold anything up.
It's true. Plus, they have
Yeah.
deflector shields and hull integrity and all that good stuff.
Yeah, if they were built in space and never landed on a planet, then the gravity, I guess, the weight doesn't really, it's not really an issue. It's just the fact that there's windows there, which would be pretty much impossible for anyone to be, traveling around.
You see what Mad Morgan's saying? It's like
Try and
laughing out.
interrupt me. I'm pretty sure I got something.
You're gonna have to go get tested. And what else he says? He's being corrupted. Where'd that go? That was funny.
Did they change how much did the Enterprise change from the Cage episode to when the series actually kicked off? Was it that much different?
No, it was very minor. The nacelles mostly, and the
Night, Scotty.
and the deflector dish.
Right, Scott?
Nerds.
Cool nerds.
Yeah, cool nerds.
There are no
Of
other
course.
kind.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, some of those SJW comics people are kind of weird.
Well, they're not nerds.
Yeah, that's true.
They're
They're
posers.
evil.
Yeah, good word. A word from the late 80s into the 90s.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, where were we in this episode?
Hate it when I have my caps lock on.
So-
So
We're basically we're at the very beginning.
Yeah, we haven't.
Yep,
like,
so-
Teaser. but that's all right. We don't have to cover every little moment in the episode. We can cover what the feeling of it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we basically we see Pike in this amalgamized technological machine where the middle light beeps twice for no and once for yes.
Yeah.
That's the only way he can communicate. And basically, the Enterprise, we all know that it arrives at Starbase 11, and because after receiving a subspace message, and basically, Captain Kirk, Spock, and Bones, they beam down, and They are puzzled when crewman Piper, assistant to the base's Commodore, Commodore Jose Mendez, tells Kirk that base sent no such message. And so this is pretty much the teaser intro right here, where they're all having this conversation. They're beamed down, and Piper's got this perplexed look on her face as they're beaming in. And Kirk insists that Spock received an urgent request from the former commander of the Enterprise, Fleet Captain Pike. Little do they know that Pike just experienced a really bad accident. And so Pike leads, let's see here, Mendez is surprised that Kirk does not know the news about Captain Pike and leads them to the medical section, explaining that during this inspection tour of the cadet vessel, one of the, I do believe they mentioned it was a J class.
J class, yeah. Something about the baffles exploding. I don't
Yeah, and during the inspection of the tour cadet vessel, yeah, it is a J class starship. They were touring, and the baffle plates ruptured. Pike removed the cadets who were still alive, severely exposing himself to delta rays. Basically, delta rays is delta radiation. Now confined to a wheelchair, Pike is disfigured and cannot speak, though his mind is unimpaired. His sole means of communication is that, like I explained before, the flashing light in the middle, accompanying a beep. Once for yes, twice for no, as I said. Spock requests a moment alone with his former commander and says cryptically to him, "You know why I have come. I have. It is treachery, and it is mutiny. But I must do this." Pike can do nothing but repeatedly beep no, over and over. Yeah, have you noticed that on IMDb they've got the original picture image of the planet? And in the wiki they have the newer revised image. Thought that was interesting. So that basically takes us out of the summary. Final, you want to take a stab at Act 1?
Sure. So Act 1, in Mendez's office, Kirk continues to defend Spock's claim that the starbase summoned the Enterprise. Mendez shows Kirk the record tapes, which show no such transmissions, and emphasizes that the paralyzed Pike could not have made the call, which was heard only by Spock. Kirk says if Spock wanted to see Pike, Kirk would have granted him shore leave. Moreover, there is no trouble in that sector of space that would have induced aliens to divert the ship as a ruse. Mendez calls the computer center, where Chief Humboldt confirms he has checked and rechecked the data tapes, and the starbase could have sent no message without his knowledge. Humboldt leaves the lab, and Spock slips in and begins operating a computer to create a voice transmission to the Enterprise. He also takes that guy out using the Vulcan nerve pinch. Neck grip there, too.
Which I understand really, really hurts when you wake up.
I guess so. It's like an instantaneous knockout. I mean, I would think that would you maybe wake up with a headache or something.
Think of it being an instant whiplash, and it makes you pass out.
Yeah, I mean it's a nerve pinch. It's going directly at the nerve. So it seems so simple and light.
By the way,
and calm,
I've had whiplash.
That's not fun.
It ain't.
I think of it as
Yeah, I have as well.
I think of
I did roll escort into a ditch.
Wow.
And would you believe it or not, it was kind of fun.
Till the next morning.
I think of the Vulcan.
No, I crawled out, and tow truck came and got the vehicle.
But then you had whiplash.
Yeah, the next day it hurt.
Oh, Wes, this is from the memory. Here, I'll put it in the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're reading.
I'm trying to follow along here. I'm like,
what do you have memorized this already? I just sent in the link there in the private chat.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, George, what were you saying?
Well, the Vulcan neck bench, I see it more as a taser to the nervous system.
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate.
Mm.
Kind of just shocks your whole.
That's why very few humans can do it.
Yeah, isn't there a comment in one of the episodes where Kirk kind of makes a comment, well, if I could do that, and Spock replies, well, I have tried to teach you, Captain. He alludes to, like, I tried to teach you, but you just can't get it.
Well, think of it this way: a taser to the nervous system is something. It's just moving the energies from Spock, through his touch to the person that he's affecting. So basically, his Spock's electrical field is focused on disrupting the electrical field of the person he touches, therefore the Vulcan neck pinch. Now, let's expand this to Data. When he did the Vulcan neck pinch, the interesting
it's an actual electrical system.
there you go. See, Data flows an electrical charge through his touch to the person he's touching, therefore duplicating the Vulcan neck pinch, not in a biological sense, but in a technical sense.
Wow, that's fascinating. That's really interesting.
It's a real deep dive on the neck pinch.
Yeah, it really is. But it makes total sense, too.
Yeah.
Oh, good night. Who was that?
Gentlemen, I submit this to you. This is probably the first time this has been communicated in this frame of thinking.
Mardigan's going to crash out.
Oh, okay. Good night, Mad.
Good night, man.
Good night.
Here, man.
Or good morning, wherever you're at.
I think he's in Texas.
We'll haunt your dreams.
George, go on.
I submit to you that this is probably the first conversation in this frame of thinking to ever happen.
I don't know. I mean, I've never heard anyone explain it like that before. So I wouldn't.
Either.
Yeah, but it makes total sense.
It's been something that's been brewing inside me since the first time I saw it for the longest time, but I'd never connected with like-minded gentlemen such as you, and it just came to me as we're going through this episode.
Because we know he has a telepathic kind of power, so it's I think within reason that he'd be able to do that, and especially when you bring Data into it, because he would send a physical electrical charge. I mean, it really makes sense. It's a really good theory.
It is,
It
actually.
really is. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Because you wonder, how does he do it physically? How would he be able to do it where Kirk, it's so hard to do? It seems like it's just the placement. Anyone can be trained to do that. But unless you have to have something almost metaphysical about it, which Spock has the ability to do.
Yes, the moving of energies.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm thinking about Star Trek Picard, and I'm getting mad about the mind meld.
Yeah, I know. That was so stupid.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Can we agree that Star Trek Picard is not canon?
oh, yeah.
It's not my canon.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but it's not Star Trek.
But you see, he's not really Picard because he's P-Card now. P-Card.
And now he's a robot cyborg
Yeah.
Picard.
Yeah.
A cyborg that has to take Metamucil and the little blue pill because he's still in a 96-year-old body.
Well, they knew that he wouldn't have wanted those problems fixed. He wants to live as a decrepit old 90-year-old.
Of course.
Yeah.
Why not?
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, if I were 96, I would say, hey, put me in another 96-year-old body, please.
Yeah. Who
It's like,
wouldn't
what-
want to go into an older body? Could
It makes
Yeah.
no sense. He dies. They bring him back to life, but put him in an old body because they know that he wouldn't want to, live his life again or be younger, well, then why the hell did you bring him back in the first place? Just leave him dead. Why would you bring him back if you know that he wouldn't want to be rejuvenated and have all these health issues? Why bring him back?
Well, they didn't really bring him back.
Well, I mean, in his mind.
Picard's dead. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, hey guys, we just got the call from Patrick. He decided to sign the contract. We gotta bring him back.
Yeah, he only came back for cash and to push his own agenda. It's unfortunate, though.
Well,
Joe,
you know that there are shame rituals. You know that, right?
yeah.
They take a little tiptoe into the the puddle, the small puddle. But yeah,
Airhead says Picard should be fired out of canon.
indeed.
Yeah, but do you know what annoyed me about the story arc though? There was this imaginary relationship between Data and Picard that never existed. That was the one thing that annoyed me about the whole thing. I mean, even in Nemesis, there was no relationship. I don't know where to get this from. And it was supposed to be like, well, Data had always wanted to become human, and then it was like, Picard became like Data. It was like, will you get away out of that? What are you on? It just goes to show you that the people that are writing it now are clueless. And yeah.
I thought Geordi
Picard,
was his best friend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. Geordi was his best friend. And Spot was his cat.
I was really hoping for Geordi when they first announced Picard.
Yeah.
I think
Man,
all
they're getting back together. Geordi's coming because I love Geordi. He was
In
my
fairness-
favorite character of Next Gen.
In fairness, I wouldn't have minded the Next Gen cast coming back all together for one more mission or something. They could have done it like that, where they had to go rogue or something to save the Federation. They could have done something like that, but instead they give us this crap on Lower Decks and Discovery.
Instead, they just had to signify some propaganda.
Well, instead they have Picard say, "Oh, I could have called them, but I knew that they would just follow me blindly into battle." It's like, what?
No,
You could have called your friends because you know they would have followed you, but you didn't do that. What's so stupid? I could have given fans what they wanted, but I knew that would be too respectful towards them.
I would have rather seen him hang out on the chateau and just talk about growing wine, growing grapes and making wine.
Right.
Yeah,
Enjoying retired life.
that's it.
Oh yeah, and just like have conversations with interesting people.
They should just turn it into like grumpy old men.
Yeah.
Or Picard could have just, he could have started a pit bull rescue. I mean, why not?
Yeah. And
You're
instead
number
of
one, and you're number two, and you're number three.
Now,
Number two. Now, no number two in the house.
yeah, I don't
Would
want
have
no
been
booms on
compelling
the
story
road.
writing. It would have been more interesting and funny than what we got.
Yeah. So, what episode was that where Data did the Vulcan neck pinch?
Oh, I don't-
Unification.
Yeah,
I think that was Unification Part 2. Yeah.
Huh. We might have to do something on that one. Interesting subject matter,
Well, the whole neck pinch the subject is an interesting one, actually. And the way it's being explained tonight, I do agree with the panel. It actually makes total sense. I would actually agree as well to say I haven't heard anybody actually speak about this before, so or come up with theories. So, I mean, it's a very good one. It's as Spock would say, it's probably the most logical.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Logical.
So
Very logical.
so yeah, I would go with that one. I think that's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, that's a good theory. So fantastic, George.
So, how far in were you on Act 1, Final?
We're halfway through Act 1, right?
Yeah, I think I was halfway through. I actually scrolled a little beyond. Let me see here. Okay, so we were at
Mendez Aid?
Spock just took over the Mendez aide.
Yeah.
Mendez's aide, Miss Piper, enters his office with a report that again denies summoning the starship. She mentions Spock's years of service under Pike and indications of Spock's extreme loyalty to Pike. Kirk defends Spock, telling Piper that a Vulcan is of disloyalty. But Piper and Mendez insist that Pike, under constant observation, could not have asked for that message to be sent. On board the Enterprise, Lieutenant O'Hara receives a message from Starbase Operations with new orders: secret, scrambled, and to be fed directly into the ship's computers. Lieutenant Hansen orders O'Hara to request confirmation. O'Hara. Let's say O'Hara. Yeah, O'Hara. Back on the Starbase, as O'Hara calls for confirmation, Humboldt walks in on Spock and notices Spock's alterations to the computer. Humboldt tries to wrestle and punch Spock away from the computer terminal, but Spock nerve pinches Humboldt into unconsciousness. O'Hara then tries to call Kirk, but Spock has now prepared a tape of Kirk's voice confirming the new orders. I don't know how he did this, and directing any questions to Spock. Spock then activates an intercom and tells Hansen the ship's computers will handle the helm, and forbids Hansen from discussing the orders with the ship or Starbase personnel. How did Spock come up with that? How did he fake that tape?
That is amazing. Apparently, he's a computer expert.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Guy's a
And
genius.
I guess, a couple hundred years from now, we'll all be able to do that. I mean, we're doing deep fakes of people's faces, so I guess it's really not that hard. He probably put a call out on YouTube, found an impersonator that could do Kirk's voice, and bing, bang, boom.
Well, the software does exist. The
he-
software
he-
does exist now.
He
That's
probably
true.
did.
You're right, George. It does exist now.
He probably. Yeah, he probably, he fired up Adobe Premiere and, made some clips and then turned it into an MP3 and kind of like, the Brie Larson interview is coming, folks. It's coming. Be patient. It's going to be good.
Yeah, she bores me to death, that woman. What's she doing on YouTube?
As the saying, bores one to tears.
Yeah. Bores me to tears, alright. Yeah. If you want to go to sleep, just turn on the Brie Larson video. After about 20 seconds, her voice just goes through your head and you just switch off. Yeah.
She
God
was
love
talking.
her.
She was talking about on her Twitter. She did a short video about how about all the auditions about auditioning and getting turned down. And I asked her how her period affected her auditions, but I haven't gotten a response yet.
Oh yeah, so she started going on about that, didn't she, in her exercise video to her trainer. I'll tell you, do you know what? She's so fake. It's so obvious. If she just look, I don't believe she's as horrible as she's making herself out to be. I think underneath all of that front that she's given, there's actually a nice person. Listen, the problem that she has is she doesn't realize that people do get rejected in life all the time, and unfortunately I think she suffers from a bit of low self-esteem, and she's always trying to validate herself. So when you see these videos, all of these videos that she's doing on YouTube seem to be all validation pieces. When she brought her so-called best friend on that happened to be African American, just to make the point about racism, it's like it's so desperate. Just stop and be yourself. Stop being nasty to people, and maybe people will come around to you. And maybe by the time Captain Marvel 2 actually comes out, you might actually get the support instead of pissing your fandom off. I don't know why they do this. I don't know why they come out with speeches and basically straight away slay half of their customers. It just doesn't make any sense. And I mean, she's on YouTube. She hasn't earned anything on it. And it's just, we work hard on their channels, every single one of us here on this panel. And then you see someone like Brie Larson come on, she gets that plaque. That, I have to be honest, that annoyed me. Because she hasn't earned her place on YouTube. She hasn't had to work hard like we have to get the subscribers that we have, and it just sickens me that she can do whatever she wants. And I have to be honest, though, I don't think she's really that great of an actress anyway. I think she's talentless. I mean, you know, I've seen corpses that actually have more life in them than she does acting on
Didn't she
stage.
actually? Wasn't she actually in a band when she first started acting?
Yeah, she was a pop singer. There's actually a couple of her videos up on YouTube.
I did not know she was a pop singer.
Yeah, her parents. See, she was pushed into the limelight. Her parents actually got her a deal. She has a couple of pop songs. I think she's only 15 or 16 in the videos, but there's Brie Larson videos of her in a band.
She was in one of those rock opera movies made with Michael. Was it Michael Cera
Yeah.
that played in it?
What's it called?
Oh no, he faces the world. What's his name? Zach
Scott
something.
Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim,
Yeah. And then he's
She was
also
good in that.
in Nora's Playlist or something like that. Two good movies.
Oh, that's not Norris Playlist. Yeah, they were both good movies. Yeah.
And she was also in, let's not forget, she was also in a highly racist movie called Basmati Blues, the movie that she's trying to actually bury.
What's it called?
Basmati Blues. Have you now? I'll put it up on the screen. It's hold on, I'll get it for you now.
I will say the YouTube the plaque she held up, that was actually photoshopped. It wasn't a plaque. Someone made that just to kind of incite fans.
Yeah.
She didn't actually. Yeah, I know it worked. But she was reading like a children's book for a video.
Oh, right. Well,
Yeah.
then I'll take back what I said then, so because it's unfair.
But only take back that part. The rest of it.
Yeah.
The rest of it, you're good with.
Right, this is the movie here that she's trying to bury. Had stereotypes in it. So there it is there. Right, now I'll go to the controversy. So can you see that on the screen now? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
if you you got a spin wheel on your mouse, if you press Control, you can zoom in.
Okay.
Is she supposed to be playing an Indian woman?
No, she's not. But here's the controversy here. So upon release, the film was criticized on social media as well as by film critics for allegedly promoting racist stereotypes of South Asians. In particular, the trailer was perceived to be to play into the white savior trope common in Hollywood cinema, where a white protagonist acts as a what's that word? Acts as
Where are you? Jason?
yeah, this one here, this word here.
Oh, messianic.
Yeah, figure saves a non-white culture from themselves, thus promoting the notion that morality and ethics are innate characteristics of white people only. This is considered particularly offensive given the history of British colonialism in India. The film has also been criticized for cultural insensitivity and promoting one-dimensional and simplistic narratives of Indian culture that have negative consequences for Indians. In response, the filmmakers expressed regret that the trailer presented the movie as pandering to racist tropes, that the trailer does not adequately capture the spirit of the movie, and that the film is in fact a homage to India Bollywood cinema. But if you go and check out the actual the reviews from actual India, from the critics in India, they absolutely slam this movie. They actually think it's. I mean, they have. There you go. Actually, hold on. Here's a review here. I think of it is a. I probably just pressed into the wrong one, didn't I? Sorry, guys, I'm not very good at this, but you can get the general gist. The movie basically didn't do well. and it's being criticized. And she's tried to bury the movie.
No wonder she wants to bury it. Jeez, it's like everything she's against.
Yeah, exactly. And
White savior, messianic white savior trope.
Yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, like, she's okay being Captain Marvel, which is also a white character who's not only saving India but the entire world.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a double standard, I mean,
Donald Sunderland is in this movie as well, though. Unfortunately, Donald Sunderland is also in this movie. And I love him as an actor, so that kind of annoyed me a little bit. But yes, she's tried to bury this movie, and the trailer is cringy. I've seen the trailer. It's bad. It's really bad. And you know what? The funny thing is that if you look what's happening with the cancel culture right now, she seems to have escaped this because, if this was to, I don't know why it hasn't came to the mainstream for, but if this was to come to the mainstream for, I think she'd be finished.
Well, yeah, but of course, they protect. If it was someone who didn't have her, social point of view or social politics, it would be all over the place, and the person would be canceled. Or if it was a white guy, and it was, an Indian female, I think it'd be a different story. But because it's the media just, will suppress this as much as they can and not talk about it.
Yeah, but it just
for some reason she can get the pass for like, oh, she's learned from a mistake.
She's a hypocrite. That's what it shows. It shows she's a hypocrite. If she really cared, she'd give back her fee that she got for that move. If she's so, as when they always get caught out, they always come out with, "Oh, I'm very sorry," blah blah, and they make some statement. Well, if you're really sorry, then you give your fee back for the movie, and you give it to charity, to some charities in India, if you really care that much. But would she do that? No. She'll keep the money because she's a hypocrite like them all.
Yeah, have a good one, Keck.
Night, Keck 44.
Good night.
Take it easy, Parrot Head. You have a good night. Thanks for coming by.
Oh. Good night, Parrot Head.
That's a great name. Good night, Parrot Head.
Parrot Head's
right. So where are we in the episode?
So let's see. We are at the point where I think Spock. Let's see. Mendez shows.
Yeah,
McCoy then. Yeah. I think I meant the McCoy, right? McCoy then receives a message from Starbase. Starbase Transport Control claiming a medical emergency on board the Enterprise, but providing no details. McCoy grudgingly returns to the ship. Mendez shows Kirk a report on the Talos 4 marked top secret for eyes of Starfleet Command only. The report is the basis of the well-known General Order 7. No vessel under any condition, emergency or otherwise, is to visit Talos 4. The only capital offense left on the books for reasons known only to Top Fleet Command, but the report does mention that the Enterprise was the only Starfleet vessel to have visited Talos 4, while commanded by Captain Christopher Pike, with a half-Vulcan science officer named Spock. While discussing the situation, Miss Piper notices that Captain Pike has disappeared from his room on a monitor. Mendez contacts Starbase Operations and is told that the Enterprise is leaving orbit and refuses to acknowledge their signal.
See, I found it a little funny that the actual book said half Vulcan science officer Spock on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is good setup. It's setting up what's happening, and it gives you a little bit of the backstory, and foreshadows what's happening with the Enterprise and where they're going.
Yeah, it does.
Well done.
Actually, it is very interesting that the Starfleet Command basically, when he had the secret file, it said for high-ranking officers only, but they never actually gave details of why the planet was actually off limits. Did they actually know about the race that was living on the planet? Was there a reason why they weren't allowed to go to that planet? Those starships were allowed to go to that planet. What was the reason?
Well, they had to have known. They had to have known the reason. They had to have known because they got Pike back severely damaged. So I'm sure, I mean, the crew survived. Spock survived. I'm sure they gave an account to what happened there. And they said, okay, we're just, banning all activity to this planet. And only the Starfleet Command can really know the reason because we don't want it getting out. I don't know. For some reason, I don't know why it would be so top secret, but, they didn't want it getting out that what they were capable of doing there. But that's I think that's anything that makes sense is that there were people that survived it, so they had to have told them, hey, here. And plus they had the somehow, we haven't gotten this part in the show, but somehow they have this like drone recording. I don't know how they would have recorded this. They have we start the flash, or not the flashback, but it's literally a recording, and it's like this view from space of the Enterprise, or and it's not the Enterprise, but it zooms in and then goes through the roof into the command center. It's like, how is this possible? The bridge. How is this possible? How are they filming this? Even Kirk kind of mentions, like, does this kind of recording actually exist? They have to which I actually like the fact that they mentioned how unrealistic it is. It's, I guess, their attempt at kind of saying, like, how is this even possible? Because it made no sense.
Little do they know it's all being projected into their mind.
Yeah. So I thought that was a really like nice little element there for Kirk to say that.
Yeah,
but it did happen. So I think that the Starfleet Command would have known, the events that unfolded there.
Oh yeah, bunch of interesting things happening when you receive communications that were finagled, especially by Spock.
Was the Prime Directive even a thing back then? Because maybe it could have been the Prime Directive because they weren't a spacefaring race.
Prime Directive was General Order 1.
Well, then maybe that's what it was then. Or maybe that's what, and obviously because of their abilities, maybe they said, yeah, just leave them alone. Let them do their own thing, sort of, It was a bit strange, that, though.
Pelosians, man. Talk about some powerful beings.
Yeah.
Projecting stuff from light years away.
Exactly. Good design on the alien, too, have to say. I loved when they spoke in their heads and you could just see it, the veins just popping in and out.
Veins,
yeah, great.
It kind of reminded me of the Guardians from the Green Lantern, Guardians of the Universe.
Yeah,
they had like the big heads, and they had this kind of blue sort of skin. They sort of had a similar design. They're kind of all knowing, all powerful.
I just found a ship list of Federation starships. Aeon type. That's a time ship. Oh, cool. I just found a list of all the starships from beginning to end, from earliest era to latest.
Which one has the widest neck?
It's not. It's just listing the class. Interesting. I will.
Actually, if you look at if we're talking about structural integrity of ships, well, the next generation ship shouldn't actually. If you look at the way that's designed, there's no way that saucer section should actually sit on that neck.
Yeah, I could see that. Absolutely.
They would really have to keep their distance from any kind of body in space that had a gravitational pull, because with the fragility of that, any kind of gravity might compromise the structure and crush the saucer on top of the rest of it.
Wild.
How many people did the Enterprise hold?
I thought they had a crew of like 400 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say something. So I
I
figured
think he said
It was just a little
400.
under 400.
yeah, it was 3 something, right? Okay. Yeah.
I think it was 428. He said. I think it was
Yeah,
428.
I think they had a maximum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because in as I said, I was watching what you call it. What was it? What was the episode I mentioned? The second episode about the kid. What Charlie X is it? Yeah. When he's telling him because he wants to know how many is actually on the ship, and he says Cook said 248. So yeah, that's a big crew.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know how often they replenish their crew because they've in their 4-year mission. I mean, they lost people.
They lost a lot of people.
Yeah, they lost a lot of people. So I don't know if they replenish when they landed certain planets or if it just diminishes. I'm not really sure. I imagine I imagine they probably have to replenish because you think everyone on that ship has a role to play. So you'd have to replenish someone if someone died. It's not like they're just taking a cruise, and if they die, there's no ramifications. I would guess.
Yeah, I'm looking crew complement 430 total. That's from 2254. The original Enterprise. Now the 2257 to 58 Enterprise. Let's see here. Crew complement is 203 to 430.
According to
the 2260s Kirk era. Crew complement is
Hey, Tommy.
430. What's up, Tommy?
Hail, Tommy.
Hail. So, yeah.
So there's a Reddit thread here, and it says how many crew members died under Cook's prime command of the USS Enterprise, and someone has said, I figured it out this past year, 53 people apparently died under Kirk in prime, the prime
Really?
timeline. Yeah, 53.
Under Kirk.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a little.
It's not that many, actually. It's considering.
Yeah, that's not actually many, no, but that's the prime timeline, but I wonder if that includes the movies.
Oh no, probably just the series.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he said TOS. So
This is the Pike's ship right here.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, pretty similar.
But in fairness, look at the lights there. These make no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're decoys to fake the enemy out.
Yeah.
That's my story.
That is nice. I do like it. I think it's a cool design.
Then this one. Let's see.
That has to be the
Space
movie
Dock
one.
Constitution class. This is from what?
What do you think of that ship? Honestly. Yeah.
I think they overdid the modernness on the inside, but the outside, I thought it was kind of cool looking.
It is actually pretty cool on the outside.
That's pretty cool looking. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
But I thought they overplayed the modernness on the inside.
Yeah, the outside.
Yeah.
Of course, we know why they did it, because they didn't have license to do it.
But that is just beautiful.
Yeah.
How big is the neck on that one?
Yeah, that's the same size.
It looks the
size.
same. Yeah, it looks very thin.
No, the one from not this one. The last shot. Yeah, this one.
That looks. Oh, it's thin as well. Yeah.
Here's the Pike one. There we go. This is the Pike one from the front view.
Wow,
That's really thin. That's thinner than.
It actually does look thinner.
Yeah.
It does look thinner.
Wow.
That's the refit.
Yeah, it does look a little thinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
It-
just a little thicker, I'd say.
It's still a nice design, though. I love it. It's my favorite ship, actually. That and
Yep.
this is going to be controversial, but I love the Voyager as well.
Yeah, we like it too. Not everything is perfect about Voyager, but there's definitely
No,
some cool
but
moments.
yeah,
Voyager's an interesting ship.
It is.
This is the refit.
that is nice. No, it is though.
Although I don't remember the refit being A.
Yeah, that's looks like that's from Star Trek 6.
Yeah. Yeah, the original refit did not have an A there.
Some of the fan concepts are great as well. That is a nice shot.
Yeah, this one's the original. Get out of there. There we go. You can see there's no A on the 1701.
Well,
Yeah.
oh no. Yeah,
Yes. This is the Defiant. Let's see, what is this? Mirror Darkly. Yeah,
I like it.
it's a nice composite. Although, does something about that deflector dish look a little odd?
Yeah, it looks like a clock. It looks like a bloody clock.
It looks like it's standing at attention.
Looks like it's about 10 to 2.
Yeah.
Morning wood. That's nice. That's a nice shot of that refit. A. Well, this is do you start over again? I didn't start over. No, that's a nice shot.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It's a cool shot too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is a cool
Yeah, that's
shot.
cool.
The immunity syndrome. Whoa, little things pop up, I just noticed. Where'd that pop up at? Oh, wow. Oh, interesting. They even have a fair use on here. Yeah, interesting. They're allowed to use fair use, but yeah, yeah. Moving on.
Oh,
What is this? Constitution class, Appalachia actual. Wow, that's cool. So what is that? That's the Defiant Phaser Banks. Oh, that's interesting. This is Mirror Darkly from Enterprise, right?
That's the Defiant.
Yeah, they had an episode, Mirror Darkly, where they the Defiant was in that episode. Wow. Oh, that's a cool shot. Too bad they didn't show the whole thing. Ooh,
Wow.
torpedo. That's nice. Torpedo. That is before the refit. It's odd that they show that because I don't ever really recall them shooting torpedoes on TOS. Do you guys?
Yeah, they shot phaser torpedoes off of that bottom light bulb.
Oh, I didn't know they were considered phaser torpedoes. Interesting. Wasn't it blue? I don't remember it being orange. Torpedo Bay. Now that's cool. Shield status. Yeah. Nice. That's a cool scene. Wow. Let's see here.
Yeah, and the weird colors and the lighting, I like it. It kind of gives it an alien feel. I mean, I know they were trying to show off color TV back then.
It works though.
It does. It works for creating, just an alien, futuristic, of its time feel.
But the fact that they even took the time and the effort to think of something like that shows again that they actually cared what they were producing. Little details like that make a huge difference.
All right, where we leave off?
We just
Act
finished
2.
Act 1, yeah.
Hey, Wes, you got that pulled up?
The Act 2 thing, the synopsis. Yep.
Yeah, go ahead and read the first paragraph.
All right. Act 2. The Enterprise departs from Starbase 11, completely under computer control. Uhura receives a communication signal, but Spock tells her not to reply. He announces that the crew, that Captain Kirk, has been given medical rest leave, and that he is assuming command. McCoy hears this upon entering the bridge and asks, who made the diagnosis and who called a medical emergency? Spock takes McCoy to a guest quarters containing Captain Pike and plays a tape with the voice of Kirk telling McCoy not to disturb Pike with questions, but to follow Spock's instructions to the letter and to take care of him. During the recording, Pike again blinks no continually. When Spock returns to the bridge, Hansen tells him that a shuttlecraft is approaching, but Spock says that they will not make contact. Aboard the shuttlecraft Picasso, Kirk and Mendez try to raise the ship, and Kirk gets angry when the Enterprise doesn't respond, as the shuttle has already traveled too far to return to Starbase 11. The shuttle's fuel runs out, and it continues coasting forward. Kirk and Mendez contemplate the consequences for Spock and his inexplicable actions. Aboard the Enterprise, Spock directs the library computer to execute preloaded instructions. The ship reverses engine power and comes to a full stop. Spock summons armed security team to the bridge, orders the transporter beam to beam Captain Kirk aboard, and places Lieutenant Hansen in command. Spock presents himself to McCoy for arrest on a charge of mutiny. The orders for Spock to take command of the Enterprise were false. The security team arrives, and McCoy reluctantly confines Spock to the quarters. Kirk and Mendez beam aboard, and Hansen transfers command of the Enterprise to Kirk and explains the situation. The engines restart, but the computer retains control and defies Kirk's direct order to disengage. The computer controls are tied into the ship's life support systems and cannot be disengaged until the ship reaches Talos 4.
Man, that was good.
Your impression of Chris Pine is like spot on.
Oh no, not Pine.
Was that not what you're going for?
Uh,
Just kidding. That was good.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to try something a little different there.
I like it.
All right. So yeah, that's the part that it's a good tension builder because at that point Spock needs to make a choice. He knows he's in deep. He knows he's in trouble. And Kirk makes that leap of faith because he wants to know what's happening with Spock. Why is Spock behaving this way? And he's willing to risk his life to go out there. And so there's the tension. Is Spock going to stop and rescue them, or is he not? And it's just such good storytelling. And so, when Spock decides to stop and beam them aboard, he knows that he's going to be in trouble. And it's just it's just brilliant storytelling. I love this episode.
And the fact that there was a transporter room right on the thing there when they were transporting up, kind of beautiful stereo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's see here. What's the next image? I wonder. Oh, another. Nah, that's cool. Ooh, this is Enterprise's. No, wait a minute. Constitution class refit transporter. It feels like they've used this quite a bit. This particular transporter room. That's weird. That was on the. This reminds me of the transporter from. What was it? The very next style of Enterprise. The Transwarp Experiment one. Was it the first one was the Excelsior, right?
Which movie is this? Which one is that from? Which movie is this from?
I want to say it's from the one that Kirk died in.
Oh well, that's the one. That's the one that they.
Oh, Generations.
Yeah,
no,
Generations.
that's Star Trek. That's Star Trek 6.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the. That's what this reminds me of, because that's Powell right there, I believe.
Yeah, they reused the TNG transporter pads. Yeah, I think they should have at least stuck some. I'll give Star Trek V begrudging credit in that they at least made the transporter room look a little bit more different than the TNG transporter room.
Let's see here. The Undiscovered Country, is what this transporter room is from. But we also seen a transporter room that was kind of similar.
Oh, Undiscovered Country. Yeah.
Yes, what was this? Skybot, wasn't it? Bloody Spock's brother. No, that wasn't that one. That was it? No, Undiscovered Country. No, that was the Klingon one, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like that one, actually.
From the animation. Motion picture.
Yeah, I actually like the motion picture. It gets a bit of stick, but I actually like it.
Yeah, I picked up on Prime. I picked up the director's cut of the motion picture and con.
Funny story. I talked to Alan Dean Foster regarding his script for the motion picture, and a lot of it was taken from his treatment. And here's a gag: the opening scene in the Klingon opening is shot for shot the way he had originally conceived it.
Really? That's fascinating.
Pretty much never happens anymore.
No. So we were at Act 3. As the Enterprise continues toward Talos, 4, right? IB4 V is 4, right?
Yeah, 4.
4. Yeah, Roman numerals throw me off. Arrangements are made for hearing, but Spock waives his right to the hearing and requests immediate general court-martial. Kirk denies the request because of the 3 required command-grade officers There are only Kirk, Mendez on board, but Spock points out that Captain Pike is still on the active duty list. Mendez confirms this. We didn't have the heart to retire him, Jim. He's got you, whatever he's up to. He's planned it well. The court-martial convenes with Mendez presiding. He reminds Spock that if the Enterprise enters Talos Star Group, a further charge involving the death penalty will be held against him, a fact of which Spock confirms he is aware of. Mendez asks Spock in what purpose it serves to go to Talos. And with Captain Pike given the severity of the penalty, Spock asks if Mendez's comments are part of the record. Mendez says yes, they are. And Spock then says he can only explain with the use of the view screen in the briefing room. Mendez's query has opened the door for any evidence Spock wishes to present, because basically he asked a question, and in order to answer the question, screens are needed, which Kirk believes is what Spock had in mind. So Scott activates the view screen. On the screen, the panel views the voyage of the Enterprise to Talos. It's at 5, right? Yeah. Command of Pike. 13 years prior, TOS, the cage. The astonishing video record, it should be recording, is much more detailed than were log entries in those days. Questioned by Kirk. Pike signals yes, that it is he in the video, but no such records were made during the voyage. Spock will not explain how the video was produced, but reminds Mendez that viewing the video is necessary to answer the question Mendez asked him. Mendez says the court isn't obliged to view evidence without knowing the source. Kirk insists on seeing more of it. Mendez tried to fight this and tried to make it obvious and all that, but Spock did remind him that he did ask the question. Later, Mendez interrupts the presentation again and reminds Spock that they are in court of space law and not a theater. Spock asks Pike if they are witnessing the actual events of 13 years previous. Pike beeps yes. Spock then offers to release control of the ship if, after watching the complete transmission, and court still wishes to turn back. Mendez calls the situation ridiculous and says it's gone too far. Kirk votes instead to continue and hear the full story. Mendez votes not to continue and declares a deadlock. But Kirk points out that there is still one member of the trial board to hear from. So with that, Mendez asks Pike if the trial should continue. Pike beeps yes. Of course, you know that at this point, Mendez is being manipulated both by Spock, Kirk, and Pike. Interesting
Yeah.
turn of events.
Yep. He's been used from all sides.
Yeah. He's a verbal pinata being bounced around.
Because Kirk is on to it. He's figuring. He's starting to kind of piece together.
Hey, what's up, Larry?
That that something's going on here.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Larry.
So we got Act 4 now. Someone want to read the last act?
Yeah, sure, I'll read it. On the view screen, the visit of Captain Pike and the Enterprise to Talos 4 continues. Uhura interrupts the trial with a message from Starfleet informing Commander Mendez that Starfleet's subspace monitors show Enterprise has been receiving transmissions from Talos 4 in violation of Starfleet general orders. Spock confirms that the video presentation is coming from Talos 4. Starfleet relieves Kirk of command and orders Mendez to assume command of the Enterprise, disabling it if necessary to prevent further contact. Mendez tells Spock that his contact with Talos 4 has invited the death penalty. Spock has not only doomed himself, but ended Captain Kirk's career as well. Spock protests that Kirk knew nothing about what was happening, but Mendez reminds Spock that a captain is responsible for everything that happens aboard his ship. Mendez then orders Spock to release the ship to manual control, and Spock respectfully declines. Mendez declares the court is in recess. As everyone leaves, Kirk confronts Spock, asking him if he has lost his mind. Spock pleads with Kirk that for his career and Captain Pike's life, he must see the end of the transmission. Kirk orders the security guard to lock Spock up and remains in the briefing room alone to contemplate the situation. To be continued.
Hey. So, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really did have the feeling of doing a live stream over this episode before, and we haven't. This is the first.
Yeah,
Yes, great episode.
yeah, high stakes at the end there. Spock could be court-martialed. Kirk could lose his career. I mean, they really took a episode that was a pilot and really built like high stakes around it.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but Spock could be put to death because he's going to Talos 4.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, good cliffhanger. Really, that's why I watched the second part. I couldn't, even back then when I watched it back then, I remember I had to wait the next week when they were doing reruns over here. I had to actually wait a whole week until they played the second part of this. So, yeah, I watched it tonight. It's absolutely fantastic. The second part it elevates. I think it's the better of the two because obviously the first part does set it all up, and then the second part, then we get to see it all unfold and see why this is all happening, and it's actually pretty fascinating stuff. But back then as well, I keep coming back to it. These people clearly cared about what they were producing, and they wanted to give the audience something that was different, and they succeeded. They really did.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to deal with political and social aspects of life at the time, project them into the future, and make it seem realistic and fit into a natural story where it's just something that lacks today, where you're projecting things from the outside and making the stories about that, where it's different here, where they just create a story and also dealt with these issues within the story, within the scope of the world that was created, and projected it into a future where it's kind of like they took these ideas of racism and gender, and while dealing with them, they put the metaphor of that they're aliens and they're other planets, but yet within the show they acted as though these problems were already solved in Earth's future, because they didn't have a problem with gender or race. You see many different races and genders in different high aspects of command within the original series. Yet they dealt with these issues, but they put them in the scope of it's an alien race or it's this or that, but they were always giving that idea that in the future on Earth, this stuff's all taken care of. We figured it out.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting because now they seem to be going backwards on that.
Yeah. And society is going backwards as well, actually, which is disturbing.
Insanity.
Yeah.
Complete and utter sanity, man.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll get bored of this and they'll start copping on. But right now,
hopefully the life cycle of that stupid trend is that like the life of a fly. Get us a
Very
big giant
short.
fly swatter. Yep.
Well, let's fingers crossed. Because if not, folks, this is what it's going to be like. I said this earlier on another stream. We're gonna have to, we'll have to invent a woke-meter, because that's what we'll be judging TV shows and movies from now on. How woke they are, and the less woke, obviously, the better they'll be. That's the way it's going, and I mean, this isn't gonna disappear overnight, because indications started back in 2016, especially with Ghostbusters, of what kind of narrative they were going to push. And then from 2016 onwards, they've just been tripling down, and it's going into games now. It's obviously, we've seen what's happened with the comic books. It's in movies. It's in TV shows.
Video games.
Video games, as I said, yeah. I don't know about music because I don't listen to any music today. Give me 80s, 70s, 60s. I won't listen to anything that's being produced now, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I don't either.
So, yeah, it's
honestly, back when bars were open, you could go in most bars that had rock and roll band. You can hear better music there.
Yeah. Yeah,
because that's where you hear good music at anymore.
Yeah, that's it. Go and see your local band or something, because support artists like that. They're the ones that will work hard. Even with songs, there's always a bloody agenda. Now, I'm not saying back in the day they didn't have agendas in songs. Of course they did. You look at John Lennon. He was all his songs had some political behind them, but he wasn't going around making you forcing it down your throat. If you
it was subtle.
If you agreed with politics, you agreed. If you didn't, he didn't come after you.
Well, he made political statements, but it was like the bed in, or going on the Dick Cavett show in like a burlap sack. It was like they were peaceful little protests that weren't really in your face. They weren't out causing destruction. I mean, he was very politically motivated, but it was all very respectful, very intelligently done. Lennon, he knew what he was up to. He knew how to handle a crowd. He knew the power he possessed, and he knew how to wield it in the right way to make to get noticed, but make effective change, but do it peacefully, which they don't. Leaders of these movements today. Well, first of all, because I think the leaders of the movements are not the actual ones who are involved in the movements, but they're just out for destruction.
Yeah,
they're not really trying to cause. They're just out for destruction and tearing down. What this world, society, our common society, they want to build.
Yeah. Our pop culture, they just want to
tear it down.
Everything. That's it. Because
Larry says The Cage started in 1964, filming 1 year after Doctor Who premiered in UK in 1963.
Oh, a year after.
Yeah, Doctor Who is slightly older, yeah. And that poor show. I as you know, I'm a Doctor Who fan. And to see the destruction. Here's where I stand. Star Wars can be saved. It'll be a lot harder, but Star Trek has the better chance out of all of them, because let's be honest, these individual shows you fans can ignore. With Doctor Who, what Chris Chibnall has done, he has completely changed the central character, and because it's the main show, it's going to be very hard. Not only to win back the fandom, but to win back the general public as well, because they're not happy. The Timeless Children, Chris Chibnall destroyed Doctor Who canon in 2 minutes.
And I submit to you that Doctor Who, out of all the franchises, is the easiest one to put back on track. You can just frame the Lady Doctor Who as a parallel universe event when the regeneration was happening. There was a parallel universe shock, just like say the mirror universe in Star Trek, and everything that you see in the.
I agree with you. That could definitely work, but Chris Chibnall's not that clever. And second of all, he's already introduced the second female Doctor in the same series, the one that's just gone. And he said that she's actually in this universe.
Yeah,
So,
that's not relevant. That's not relevant what this Chris Triple says, because as a writer, any new writer producer who comes in
Take it easy, Mikhail Wolf. Have a good one.
Good night, Mikhail Wolf.
Good night, Mikhail.
can just do a Bobby Ewing, waking up and you have a shower revelation.
they could do that, but the problem is we're living in the age of social media, and unfortunately BBC are pandering to the people on social media. So they're not going to retcon this because there will be a backlash, and they can't be pandering to that crowd on social media.
Well, but
look what RR's just said. They are ideologue zealots who have no spiritual or moral grounding to this life. They want to destroy, plain and simple. They have no clue or desire to build or anything beautiful or lasting of value. Let me paint a small picture for you. They don't understand the simple concept of going down to the trail, sitting by the creek or the pond or the beaver pond, being surrounded by evergreens and mountainous hills, taking your shoes off, sticking your feet in the dirt and moving your toes around. They don't understand that.
You're right there.
They don't get that concept.
They definitely don't understand the beaver.
Here's
So
another.
if they can't understand something as simple as that, they can't understand all the other stuff.
It's true. They can't understand it. But here's the interesting thing. The BBC is afraid of a social media backlash.
Yeah.
Well, I submit to you that the BBC and Star Trek and Star Wars have all faced a tangible backlash from an audience that doesn't buy their products anymore. There's no licensing that's available for Star Wars. There's no licensing available for BBC or Star Trek.
Yeah, but the thing that's keeping BBC afloat and that can make them continue down this path and not give a crap about fans is the fact that they're actually getting money. They've the HBO Max deal, and they're also they've signed a new deal with China, so they have money coming in from there as well. Actually, Piers Wenger, the head of drama, came out and actually said that editorially, Doctor Who is healthy. So they've lost 7 million households, right? Because I this is my subject, so this is what I deal with on my channel. They've lost 7 million households, right? Even
China showing up again, huh?
Yeah. So
They pop up.
even the casual fan has turned their back. And the thing about it is what makes this slightly different to the rest, and why I would argue it's harder, is because they've completely destroyed 56 years of canon, and the fans are angry, and fans have walked away. They're not coming back. The numbers for Series 12 show it. They've tuned out. They're not coming back. There's still anger to this day. They will not come back unless the regime at BBC changes, and that's not going to change for a few years, unfortunately. Then they won't retcon this because they have made their bed and they have to stay in it, because they have this little thing called the strategy, or the diversity inclusion strategy, right, which is a document which says that they have to have certain minorities, more women in lead roles. They have to fill a quota. So they've made their bed. They're not going out of any soon. The June, who's the head of the diversity, she's the diversity director for the BBC, has says that the BBC are not even going to meet their quotas. So it's been extended for another 3 years. So BBC have made their bed. They're not going to retcon this anytime soon. The longer, but see, this is the problem. The longer this goes on, Doctor Who fans are not going to come back. The different Doctor Who fans, someone said it in the comments there, English fans, especially the British fans, take this show seriously. It's a British institution. They've destroyed it. So it's gonna take a lot of groveling by the BBC to win back fans and to actually win back the casual fans. So they have an uphill struggle, to be quite honest.
Okay, a couple of things. With the HBO and China investment, those two individuals are making investments under the understanding that there's a huge licensing bonanza that comes with it. When they discover real quick, within the context of a year, that what they purchased or they invested in is a dud, they will quickly realize that, and like with this statement that it's Doctor Who is healthy and all that stuff. No, it's on life support.
Yeah, but here's the thing:
Right now,
being clever.
it's
They bought the licenses from 2005, so when the show first came back, they just haven't bought Jodie Whittaker's series. They've bought them all. So yeah, you are right to a certain extent. When you get to the Whittaker era, they will see how bad it is. But talking about the licensees, they've launched Time Lord Victorious, and Christopher Eccleston has recently come back. He's doing some big finish audios. So the licenses, they're clever. They're bringing back old doctors to make money. So they know what they're doing. BBC always have a plan. When they know something's not going, they'll try bring back older doctors to do something, and that's what they've been doing. So the licensees are not being affected that much because classic merchandise is still flying off the shelves.
Well, the thing is, there's something that happens in every corporate system. It's called the diminishing asset. It doesn't matter how well the product is, or in terms of healthy. Every year, there's a diminish in the asset. It's just what happens in licensing and everything. And the thing about the diminishing asset is that Doctor Who, Star Trek, and Star Wars have been given steroid injections, so to speak, to diminish the assets that much quicker. Now, here the interesting thing is, you say it's about 3 years. Yes, that's basically they approve the budget now, the budget now, but they don't spend it for another 1 or 2 years down the road. By the time they finish their little shell game, this is happening in Star Trek. This is happening in Star Wars, Doctor Who, even DC Comics. But by the time they finish doing their little shell game, the regime or the people who are in charge of that, a certain property or the brand or the licensing managers or the brand managers or the executives, they will have gracefully, if you will, have moved on elsewhere. So it is a matter of time when the bean counters will step in and say, look, you're either going to make money or you're going to lose money, and you have to shut down this company, or you have to shut down this, and this.
Yeah, but unfortunately, BBC is basically they get most of the money from the TV license, so they don't really have to answer to the government either. So they've got that revenue coming in as well. I get what you're saying. I have to say the pink elephant hasn't helped the situation for the BBC.
Oh, no.
like most companies out there, they are being hit. So it would be interesting to see if they do change tactic now. It might happen a lot sooner than we thought, to be quite honest with you. If we look at what happened DC Comics recently, there was a total clear out there. I shouldn't be laughing because a lot of people lost their jobs. The right people should lose their jobs, and the talented ones should be kept on, to be quite honest with you. I'd get rid of the ones that were bad-mouthing fans on social media anyway. They'd be the first to go in my eyes. But it's going to be interesting. The next couple of months is going to be interesting to see what happens, because they can't sustain this anyway. I do agree with that. At some stage, something has to give, doesn't it? And hopefully it's sooner rather than later, and we might actually get some decent shows again.
Well, look what Larry says. We in the USA were lucky to see Doctor Who in the early 1970s shown every week on PBS. Okay, that's how me and my dad watched Tom Baker Doctor Who. But I believe we watched also the Doctor before him when he regenerated. That was my introduction to Doctor Who, the regenerating episode into Tom Baker. That's what I remember.
I believe my introduction.
Oh, hold on, Larry remembers seeing the end of Pertwee's run and then all of Tom Baker. Yeah, that's exactly what I was just saying. Yeah.
I think the first time I think the first time.
Oh, hold on, Wes. Those of you who want to watch Doctor Who for free, there's an app called Pluto TV. Most Samsung TVs and LG TVs have Pluto TV built in. Just go to the App Store, install it. Channel 370, Doctor Who, 24 hours. Those of you Doctor Who enthusiasts.
Classic Who is definitely worth a watch. If you haven't watched Classic Who, it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
I think the first one I saw was Colin Baker. I think it was Trial of the Time Lord. I think.
Wow. That's a bad introduction, Wes.
I know. That's what everybody says.
Well, I'll tell you, if you got past that one and you were able to watch more Doctor Who, I have to say fair play to you.
Well, it looks like Shakespeare compared
That's
to
funny.
Stuff Chibnall's given us.
Pluto TV is owned by CBS Viacom. No kidding.
Oh my God.
But hey, there's free Doctor Who on it, and that's kind of why I have it on there.
That's it. And as I said, I would advise anybody, if you haven't watched Doctor Who, the Pertwee era is absolutely fantastic. It's more action based, and then we get Tom Baker, who is the definitive Doctor. He is fan favorite, and obviously with new Who fans, it's David Tennant. But with classic Who fans, it's Tom Baker. He is absolutely fantastic. But you will enjoy both eras. It's well worth a watch.
He had presence, Tom Baker.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, you need screen presence. You don't, and a personality as well. Look at most of the characters in Star Wars. Did any of them have any personalities that were memorable? No.
I have a controversial opinion in that I think that Eccleston was a better Doctor than Tennant.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I think if Eccleston had gone the entire Davies run, we would be talking about how he's the greatest Doctor.
Well, here's the thing.
Wait, hold on. I understand why you say that, Wes, because I seen in that Doctor what he could have been. So I understand why you say that, but I still think Tennant was the best. But I partially agree with you that there were some qualities in that Doctor that didn't get explored. And I thought that would have been kind of cool. I was kind of disappointed when he when he stopped being the Doctor. And then Tennant came in and just freaking blew our minds away, It's just awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was. The potential. He potentially could have been better, but just to exactly what you were saying. He brought a certain kind of bravado to the Doctor that was different.
Yeah. So let's have a little musical break here.
All right.
The wolves are gathering around. Wolves are gathering around. Line the queues, turn the lights down. Normies and paper cowboys. Wolves gather around, fatal attractions and their distractions. Don't cancel the movie, don't cancel me. Don't cancel the popcorn. All the bellicose in the cellulose slime you turn the lights down. Are you ready for the greatest picture show? Let's get to it, let's do it. Don't you blow it, get to it. Careful what you sow, put a little bow on it. Get to it, once a little package. Why that nice little package. Going to the picture show, so nostalgic, it gets heralded. Speaking of something told, was it foretold? Was it foreshadowing? Chattering, it's all that matters. You know, it's a picture show. Interconnecting, never disconnecting. Saving the world one song at a time. Saving the world one song at a time. Saving the world one song at a time. Wolves gathering round, line the cubes, turn the lights down. Normies and paper cowboys. Paper cowboys. Wolves gather around the fatal attractions and their distractions. Don't cancel the movie, don't cancel me, don't cancel the popcorn. All the bellicose in the cellulose line the cues, turn the lights down. Are you ready for the picture show? Let's get to it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Don't you blow it. Don't you blow it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Careful what you sow. Careful what you sow. Bow on it. Get to it. Quite a little nice package. Go to the picture show. So nostalgic, it's heraldic, speaks of something told. Was it foretold, or was it foreshadowing? Cut the chattering, it's all that matters. You know it's a picture show. Interconnecting, never disconnecting, saving the world one song at a time. The world one song at a time. Let me tell you that girl, she's got some class. I'm stepping through the looking glass. Need a drink and raise your glass. Let me tell you that girl, she's got some class. So raise your glass. Won't see times like these again. I can take your name. You can take from the flame. I can take your name. See you reaching down. Looking glass. Oh, she sure does have some class. I've traveled the world far and wide. East to west and west to east. They say it's the best in the west. More than we will be. Don't run girl with the windows. Don't need that girl got some class. I'm stepping through the looking glass. Let me tell you that girl, she's got some class. I'm stepping through the looking glass. Take a drink and raise your glass. Let me tell you that girl, she got some class. So let's raise your glass. Oh, she's not like these again. I can't take your pain. Ain't gonna be for the free hand. I can't take your pain. I see a man reaching down, I'm stepping through the looking glass. Well, she sure does have some class. I just don't play. East to west and west to east, they say it's the best. In the west, north wind blowing, tundra where the north wind blows. Let me tell you that girl, she got some class. I'm stepping through the looking glass. Take a drink, raise your glass. Let me tell you that girl, she got some class. So raise your glass. Won't see times like these again. I can't take your pain. Take a page from the plan. I can't take your pain. I see a hand reaching down. I step through the looking glass. Boy, she sure has some class. I travel the land. East to west, west to east, and say it is the best in the west. North winds blowing, thunder where the north wind blows. Let me tell you that girl, she's got some class. Let me tell you she's got some class. I'm stepping through the looking glass. Won't see times like this again.
I think that's my new favorite now.
Yeah, I think that's my new favorite as well.
Yeah.
I thought waiting on the sauce was.
It was. But I think that was. I think the looking glass is my new favorite.
Been sitting here for 8 weeks now. 8 weeks times 2. It's 4:34 in the afternoon. Have you heard the sauce now? Just random info. We want the sauce. And we want the sauce. And we want it now. We want the sauce and we want it now. Just a random afternoon. It's 4:44 now in the afternoon. We want the sauce right now. Baby, we want it now. 8 weeks of waiting times 2. We will have to wait longer. Will we have to wait longer? Been sitting here for 8 weeks now. 8 weeks times 2. It's 4:34 in the afternoon. Have you heard the sauce now? Random info. We want the sauce. And we want the sauce. And we want it now. We want the sauce and we want it now. Just a random afternoon. It's 4:44 now. We want the sauce right now. Baby, we want it now. 8 weeks of waiting times 2. Will we have to wait longer? Will we have to wait longer? Been sitting here for 8 weeks now. 8 weeks times 2. It's 4:34 in the afternoon. Have you heard of the sauce now? Just random info. We want the sauce, and we want the sauce, and we want it now. We want the sauce, and we want it now. Just a random afternoon. It's 4:44 now. We want the sauce right now. Baby, we want it now. 8 weeks of waiting times 2.
I've got the sauce.
Will we have to wait any longer? Baby, we want it now. 8 weeks of waiting. Will we have to wait longer? Been sitting here for 8 weeks now. Times 2. It's 4:44 in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's still a good one.
I've got the sauce.
My favorite line is still the 8 weeks times 2.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I love that line. That's clever. But I have to say, Looking Glass is taking over number one spot.
Well, there's a story behind that song.
Looking Glass?
Yes, yeah. Basically, I was at my first Jerry Garcia band concert, and I was 17, man. Had tons of fun. Let's just put it that way. Tons of fun and lots of nice things to see. And I saw this long hair, brunette, brown-eyed hippie chick in a sundress in the direction of the sun, skipping along, and it's kind of where the girl part comes from that. That was from September 15, 1989. I had that experience, and so that's part of that's in that song.
Scenes from a Memory.
Yeah. Into the Looking Glass, It was a spiritual experience,
Yeah.
Because pretty much every song I do is pretty much a story. It mixes
yeah.
a little bit of current and a little bit of everything else that's happened. Takes you away from the moment. Puts you in a
Well, at
happy
least
moment.
someone's doing that, because we certainly aren't getting that from TV and movies.
No.
At least you're doing it.
And when we have live streams, I don't like to get too deep on current events and stuff that's going on because, we all need a happy break, a happy moment away from it, And
Yeah.
having fun, having some laughs, having some giggles. That's what I like.
Like RR in the chat. Ghost Bear is the alpha and the omega.
So yeah, I'm working on a new song, and basically it's the one that you suggested I use a hurricane in. I've been working on that one.
We're gonna get a sneak peek.
We'll sneak peek that at the after show.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that it's ready for public consumption yet.
Yeah.
I've got a main vocal track and I have a backup vocal track recorded. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Let's see here.
Hello, Philip Gaming. What's up?
What's up, Philip
Hey,
Gaming?
Phil.
How you doing, man? Let's see my now. Ghost Bear Show, that song. Now there's a couple different ways. My processes. How I work with my processes when I do a song. They happen two ways. They're either very difficult to make and produce, or they happen like that, like it's magic. It just boom, bam, done, and it just happened in 20 minutes. And I'm just like, I'm listening to it. I'm just like, hair sticking up on end. That's how I know it's good. That's how I know it's ready. If I don't get that, nada, nothing. And so, in one of the songs that I was working on, that took me about 8 days to do. That one was North Wind is Blowing. Man, I wrestled that thing like it was an alligator, and I went through 3 different instrumentals until that one felt right. And that's normally how it happens. It either takes me a few days, or it happens like that. Sort of like magic, It clicks. All the bells and whistles and all that falls into place, and I've even thinking about finding a good cowbell to go with one of the songs.
You gonna use a real cowbell?
Well, it'll be a recorded cowbell.
I don't know.
Cowbell would probably drive my neighbors crazy.
Well, a cowbell's not really super loud.
Yeah, not if it's beat right, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm here in Sacramento, so we're the king of the cowbell here. Back when NBA was a thing, and now it's not. So, yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah.
NBA.
Yeah. RIP all sports.
Pretty much.
Let's go.
Maybe not hockey.
Yeah, I think that sort of infiltration into hockey would be unlikely.
Yeah, it's so far hasn't really affected them.
So yeah, the last 3 or so songs I've done, they've all been 4K videos. And the quality. And the last 3 songs I've done, I picked up N-Track Studio, and it has really made doing vocals easy. I mean, it's a really good program, and they had a discount code, and it normally would have been probably almost $80, but between $33 and $37. Not bad. Yeah, John Talks is the master of cowbell.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. So yeah. So any questions about the fourth clarion call?
No, not from me. I kind of know the story behind it.
Yeah. Well, we'll give that a play real quick. Is your love on fire? Wind over earth, fire and sea. Call the clarion, raise the fire. It takes a historian to call the clarion. You need a wind caller. Call the elemental of the earth. A touch of fire spirit, salt of the sea. The fourth wave, always back, 4 doors to go, 4 steps away. What is real? Let's catch the deal. Maybe we could, maybe we should do something about it. It's not the end, it's just a little bending of the fourth wavelength. Universe changing, mind bending, never ending. Gotta get some, it takes a historian to call the clarion. Then you need a wind caller, then you need elements of the earth. A touch of fire, a little salt of the sea. The fourth wave, back, 4 doors to go, 4 steps away. What is real? Let's catch the deal. Love on fire, wind over earth, fire and sea. Call the clarion, raise the fire. It takes a historian to call the clarion. You need a wind caller, call the elemental of earth. A touch of spirit, salt of the sea. The fourth wave, always back, 4 doors to go, 4 steps away. What is real? Let's catch the deal. Maybe we could, maybe we should. Let's do something about it. It's not the end, just a little white light bending. The fourth wavelength, the universe changing, mind bending, never ending. Gotta get some, it takes a historian to call the clarion. Then you need a wind caller. Then you need a wind caller. You need elements of the earth, little salt of the sea. The fourth wave, always back, 4 doors to go, 4 steps away. What is the deal? Let's catch the deal. Love on fire, wind over earth, fire and sea, call the clarion. Raise a fire, it takes a historian. Call the clarion, you need a wind call. Call the elemental of the earth.
Elemental of the earth.
Cool.
Well, that is the story of the fourth wave and the folks that are in it.
Like it.
which is
Yeah,
grown and grown.
There was a part where it was pretty emotional, man. A lot of emotion in that song. Yeah. Well, there's in another song they once said, "Without love and a dream, it'll never come true." You know. Cheers.
Cheers.
When historians look back at this tone, they will call it the age of the Ghost Bear. When Ghost Bear glitches out, it is actually the camera not being able to handle his power. Ghost Bear has become like Chuck Norris.
Yeah, I think so. A legend for all time.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Ghost Bear is the fifth element.
Okay. That is cool. Put that in the chat. In the collective chat. There we go. All right. So, how y'all doing?
Good.
All right.
I'm glad that we have the best chat on YouTube and a very
Oh,
positive, good vibes in all of our shows.
Indeed.
Yep.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Wednesday show, man. Wednesday show. Got something cooking up for Wednesday.
Okay. What are you thinking?
Gonna have, let's see here. I gotta look at my notes real quick. Where'd it go? There we are. Gonna have the Time Prophet on, and the Rabbi from Another Planet on as well. Wednesday. And should be fun, should be interesting.
Yeah. What time were you thinking?
Let me go back and look at the. What time is good for you guys?
Well, I'm doing my whatever Wednesday, and of course you guys are welcome to come on. I think at 8 p.m. It should only be about an hour.
Probably do something at 5 p.m. if Wes and Final Year schedules are free.
I don't know if I'll be able to stream on Wednesday.
Maybe doing some adulting around 5 p.m.
Yeah, if I would be able to, it wouldn't be till after 9.
Well, it don't necessarily have to be Wednesday, but it's a chance for us to meet and greet and get to know them.
Yeah, Time Prophet's great.
We know the Time Prophet. We want to have Rabbi on.
Be cool to. And I follow Rabbi. I am aware of Rabbi. Yeah, he's pretty cool too.
Yeah, he does be on my channel a lot actually. He's a gas character. You will have a lot of fun with him. So it'll be an interesting one.
Because of his faith, he doesn't stream on Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Rabbi, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't stream on Fridays. He streams with me on Saturday and Sunday.
Probably Saturday after sundown, he would be able to, according to his faith.
Yeah, after 6 p.m.
Yeah. So I think they celebrate the Sabbath at sundown on Friday to sundown on Saturday.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. There's Shabbat.
Shabbat. Yeah.
Sounds like Mork from Mork. Shazbot.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I wonder
George,
where they got that from.
So what have you been having going on lately? What do you
Probably-
got going on, George?
Well, I've been working on the setting up the stuff for the next campaign.
Oh,
Creating a spaceship and some cute figurines that are going to appear in the
we
campaign.
love spaceships around here.
You know what? Let me pull it up. Give me a second, because we're talking Star Trek. I think
Yeah.
these guys will appreciate this.
Yeah, as soon as you bring it up, I'll switch it out.
Yeah, give me a second. Just it's a big file. I have to pull it up.
Who you on first?
Oh, whoops. I thought I muted myself.
Yeah, that's
He who yawns first buys the first round.
Damn it. I'd happily buy the first round. Well, at least I remembered to have my camera off when I picked my nose this time, so that's always a good thing. Like, oh wait, I have the camera on. Damn it!
that's funny.
It's like you're in your skivvies and you forgot you weren't wearing your house pants, your cam was on, and you stood up.
I almost did that once.
Oh man, that is lovely.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Very neat reimagining of it. And I got like the Vulcan spaceship, and you've got that's cool.
Wow, that's
Now,
nice.
George, I think last time you were on, we were talking about that ring in back as being like kind of the way that they're able to kind of create a wormhole, right? To travel through light speed.
Yes. The
Yeah.
ring
Yeah.
itself is a warp ring. So that's the propulsion system. It's the concept in my book is that it travels by the gravity waves in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So the warp ring itself is
Whoops.
like it's like a surfer riding a huge wave.
Like Silver Surfer.
More like a surfer off the coast of Hawaii,
Surfing a wave.
surfing the wave. And this is a very small ship. This is the production model.
Now, how big is your neck?
The entire complement of the ship is here. Everything else is just engines. There's no elevator in this at all.
Okay, so are there like cabin, like living quarters, or is this a short range?
No. This is the size of 3 Winnebagos.
Oh, okay.
It's a very small ship, and these things at the front here are the things that create the protection. So as you're traveling faster than light or through warp space, that any particles will be pushed aside. This is the exposed engine part. Let me get the color version of it. Give me a sec. So I'm loading the color version of the ship that appears in the book.
I feel like if they had gone through the Delphic expanse in that ship, that would have only lasted 2 episodes.
Let's hide the lights. we go. So just frame it. There we go.
Nice.
So this is
Oh yeah, the purple and green. Yeah. Yeah, I remember this from your comic.
and the first one was a gag. I was making fun of Star Trek in general, but this particular spaceship is going to be used constantly, so I need to have it as original as possible. So what you're looking at is these are the different poses that,
It's really cool.
that appear in the book.
Wow, that is cool.
And here's the interesting thing. Let me pull this up here. Haven't done this yet, but there's more to the ship than just what you see. So remove the window, and there's the cockpit, which I'm almost finished. These are the hidden parts of it, the engine.
Oh, wow.
Under the hood, so to speak.
Very cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
So let's get rid of the circuits and the ship itself. And this is the cockpit.
Okay. Yeah, so it's rather small.
No, it's very small.
That gives you a good idea with the seats. You can kind of see the size of it.
Yeah,
Wow, that's so cool, man. That is really cool.
that is
And
awesome.
and the thing is, sometimes the captain has to roll down the window so he can reverse park, just like a normal car.
He's got to roll down the window.
And here's a gag. This area here, sorry, this part right here that you see is the airlock, but it also doubles as the bathroom.
So it goes right out the window.
So when the characters first come into the spaceship, they
Hail,
smell,
Nicholas Draven.
they smell this awesome fresh pine scent, but they don't get it. Maybe the airlock is just nicely scented to invite. So when they're getting a tour of the ship, they said, okay, so where's the rest of the ship? He goes, this is the whole ship, right? There's some hidden compartments, 3 hidden compartments underneath the floorboards. We can add, which are like little coffin apartments, and one of the passengers says, "So where's the bathroom?" The captain says, "Oh, the airlock doubles as a washroom." And that's when the passenger says, "That explains the fresh pine smell."
The fresh pine smell.
So green represents repulsion. So all particles coming towards the ship are forced around the ship. Red represents the warp ring, the propulsion, and blue is the conversion.
What does the red do?
The red pushes,
Oh, okay, pushes out.
the blue pulls, and
Gathers.
the green reflects.
The green reflects.
So technically speaking, it's like having a magnet, a big magnet on your ship.
Oh, wow.
One side pulls, the other side pushes. There, and that's the gag in this. Oh, and by the way, you see the black lines on the ship. This is something I've been meaning to do for a long time. But watch this.
Oh. Oh, wow. I just kind of like texturized it.
So this is what happens when the ship is actually in a high warp.
Oh, it all goes white?
Yeah, the 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 energy courses throughout the ship to keep its integrity. At the same time, the propulsion is happening. The thing that bugs me about Star Trek and Star Wars and all that stuff is that, yeah, okay, so you got a ship going through space at high propulsion, but there's no structural integrity designed in those ships to actually survive that kind of speed. There's
It would tear it apart. There's nothing that protects it.
exactly, and the only logical sense I could think of is if you take if you go to the Marianas Trench, right? Your submersible is designed to withstand the structure, the pressures.
Right.
Well, in space, you got outward pressure instead of inward pressure. So what's holding the ship together when you're actually pushing it at such incredible speeds?
Yeah, it should like crush
Yeah,
itself
Yeah.
like something deep underwater.
yeah, because the speeds at the back end would be actually a lot faster than the front end. So you would get the Einstein effect of going through a black hole at the event horizon.
And they couldn't really use shields because I think don't they establish they have to lower their shields before they would jump?
That's right.
So they wouldn't. A shield wouldn't explain it.
No, and the shield would not be fast enough to protect
Yeah.
because you're looking at energy and we're talking about actual particles.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's really well thought out.
Yeah,
Indeed.
it's cool looking too.
It's impressive.
See, this is why you don't get hired for Star Trek. You have too much detail. You make sense.
Well, I love to satire the entire genre: Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, and let me pull it. There we go. And it's the part about the neck really bugged me for the longest time, but I never really thought about it until I saw this video just a few months ago on YouTube, and I go like, "Geez, that really sucks."
Who put the video out?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I've been looking for it. That's why I created that diagram, because I couldn't find the video while we were on the stream.
Ah.
But it really just bugged the heck out of me. And that's why the propulsions are evenly distributed across the ship. So it's got
Makes
equal
sense.
it's got equal propulsion off the saucer section, the wing section, the stomach section, and the overall ring itself. Because
So
go ahead.
is the red engine sublight?
No, the red is actually what do you call it? Warp,
Okay.
right?
And
The blue is sublight.
okay.
The red pushes, the blue pulls.
That is just awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
And let's see, I also have another ship. Let me show you. The other ship I have that was in the first book. Give me a second. This one was a gag on Star Blazers. It doesn't appear in the second story, but it's in the first.
Wow, you would not believe what the chat is doing.
Our
The
chat?
chat on our chat in the main page. It's still loading all the chat that happened before because I just went to it to check it. Because I normally go to check and see if any comments are held. Just for giggles.
It's going okay for me, I think.
Well, I think it just now finally caught up, but before it was showing all the comments during the song, and it just now caught up. That was really weird.
Ah. Hey, Runner Studios, what's going on?
Hey, Cooper.
Hide lights.
Hey, what's up, Runner Studios? How you doing, man?
Okay, so what are you looking at right now is the production model. You know how a colorist flattens artwork? It does flat colors so the painter can go in and select it and paint. That's in comic books. Well, I do something similar in 3D models.
Really?
Yeah. So this is what's considered the flat colors. Oh, and there's my homage to Star Blazers.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so this is the flat of the spaceship. Now I will disable it and bring in all the pieces.
That is cool.
That's really cool.
This is what appears in the actual comic book. It's still loading. Now, this is not complete until I give it a line thickness. So it looks like it's part of the comic. So I select it. Give it a sec. And I drop a line over it.
Wow.
Give me a sec. I'll just deselect. There you go. Now
Wow.
I'll just make the line a little thinner so you appreciate the
I love like the neon color.
okay. Kill that. And there you go. A 3D model ready for the comic book
Wow, that's cool.
with black lines incorporated into it.
Nice.
Man, that is nice.
And how does this look like in the printed page? Let me show you a panel. Right out of the comic book. Let me actually show you a page right out of the comic book. And where's the files here? Here we go. Print. Renderers. JPEGs. Here. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Give me a sec. Pull this. And okay, I'm gonna share another element out of here. Share screen. There we go.
Oh, wow.
And there's one more panel I'll share with you, which shows you the different angles of the ship in action.
There's that's the backside of it.
Yeah, that's the backside. In fact, here's where they're stealing the ship. This is, I think, page 4. Oh, and here's what their spaceship right up here. So these are all computer-generated, traditional art, photography, the whole works.
So when you take the 3D model that you created, you're using that to then create the image that turns out to be like the drawn comic.
And now I compose the layout the way I envision it, and then I rotate the 3D file so it matches for the layout. I do a render, and then just like this shot here, I put it into the shot and paint the rest of the image.
Wow.
By the way, all this artwork here that you're seeing, it's all vector artwork.
What is vector artwork?
Vector artwork is, do you know Adobe Illustrator?
Not really.
Okay, but you know of the program.
I've heard of it, yes.
Okay, well, you have Photoshop, which is bitmap. It pushes color pixels around. Illustrator is vector. It's lines, it's curves, mathematical curves. All this stuff is mathematical curves.
Wow.
It's truly computer generated.
And then how do you color it? How are you coloring it in?
These colors are also curves.
Wow.
So you basically choose the color of the curves, and then you put them onto the whatever piece of the comic you're actually trying to create.
Yeah. Okay, give me a sec. I'll show you what an actual. I'll pull up pull up an illustration here. Just something that what I've got here.
Like, as the shading, how do you get the shading of the hair, the shadows of the ship, the cape, the shading of the cape?
Yep, I gotcha. Give me a sec. I'm pulling up a new piece.
Okay.
This is the actual source file. And share screen. There you go. Okay, this is again just like the comic. Here, this is the color. These are the curves.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
That's
How do you make sense of that?
Yeah, but I was going to say, how do you know where to put them?
So I'll pull up. I'll show. I can walk you through this is like 55 layers. So. I'll show you what this looks like in curves. So I can actually pull, say this
like
part.
I'm looking at the God planet from Star Trek V right now.
All right, so I'll pull this, and then I'll slowly build it out so you can see.
Oh, like the yeah. Okay, so he took the eyes away. Oh. Ah.
Now I'll show. Say I wanted to add some more highlights here.
Yeah, like shading.
Yeah, shading. So what I'll do is I'll choose white, and I'll give it an opacity, and I'll put the white highlights here.
Oh, so you are drawing then. You are like physically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what I wasn't sure. I thought you were trying to make sense of all those shapes and then choosing colors.
Yeah,
Watch
I
this.
see.
Watch this.
Yeah.
Let me pull.
So you're actually doing like the artwork. You're actually drawing. I mean, it's digital, but you are physically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch this. Let me show you. Let me pull away. Okay. I'll show you a black line. All right.
Yeah.
That's the curve.
Oh, I get you now.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what's going on.
See, like that. There's a curve.
Now, are you using like a pencil, digital pencil?
Yeah, I'm using a Wacom screen tablet and a stylus pen.
Okay. So the harder you press, the thicker the. That's how it goes so quickly from the thin to the thick. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is what you can't do with Photoshop. Right? Watch this. Let me change the color here to red. Okay, so you can see it. This is what you can't do in Photoshop.
Oh, move it all about. Because this is mathematic. This is vector.
That's right.
You can't
Supposedly,
wow.
With-
Yeah,
with-
that is.
with like a photograph, for example, you can't get it to stick to something in Photoshop the way you can with Illustrator.
Yeah.
I
Well,
believe.
you saw the space background. That's a nebula that I got from NASA. But then I pull it out. That's actually our sun. I just made green and yellow.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
So
I think that's how they made the God planet too.
yeah. So you see, this is a photograph of a nebula from NASA. This is how I created it. Milky Way galaxy, and then I dropped this photograph over it, and then added the stars.
Oh, wow.
So this is what it is mathematically.
Wow.
Interesting.
And the beauty behind this is that watch this, gentlemen. You're gonna freak out. Say I draw something. And okay, so this is the illustration. Okay, and no big deal, but I'm not really happy with the shape of it. So see this? I'm able to
Dent it in.
I'm able to push. Let me make it bigger.
Wow.
I don't lose the fidelity of the line. You can't do this in Photoshop.
No.
It squishes the whole thing in Photoshop, I believe.
Yeah, but you lose the quality of the pixels because they're in Photoshop. Photoshop's a destructive program, so when you move pixels around, you've lost it. Here, you can move the line around. You can push and pull any way you want and tweak it, and you haven't lost the fidelity of the line.
Wow.
Wow.
This is Illustrator?
This is Illustrator. I've been drawing in Illustrator for 30 years.
Ah. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I can see why. I mean, for drawing, it's definitely.
And then
Well, it's Illustrator. I mean, I guess the name kind of tells you what it's good for.
and then just put the color underneath it.
Oh, so you can just color over the whole thing, and it knows to.
No, this is layers. See, I'm drawing the color blue underneath it, the red line.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Just simple layers. So I can go back to one layer up, select the red, and change it black without affecting the blue. And then go back to the blue layer. Quickly, let's make the brush bigger so I can. Yeah, there you go. Real quick, we'll just add blue here. Yeah, red for the cape. And then come in brand new, and then just drop white right here and right here.
Wow, that's so cool.
That is actually impressive. I love that.
And then when you finish it off, you put in an opacity of black over this.
Have to give it shading. Oh, and okay, switch the opacity. So that's how you get the shading. Oh man, I'll tell you, you're really illustrating the point here. This is a perfect example.
This, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's so cool to watch this.
So you're putting opacity of black here.
That's actually very good.
And then you can flip it and then do an opacity of white. It's the same opacity level, just white now. Okay.
Oh, to give it a lighter shade, yeah, that's fantastic.
I feel like he's looking at me right now.
It's very good.
There you go. There you go. Just a little quick there, and there you go.
Wow, that is really well done.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
That's so cool.
And that's vector illustrations. And yeah, if you handle it just right, you'll end up. Let me pull up another one, much more. Let's pull up this one. If you do it just right, you'll end up maybe doing something like this.
That's good.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, geez. So, did you draw the gun? Hand draw the gun?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Oh, that's the details really well done there too.
Yeah, she's got nice features.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Very detailed.
She's got the right things in the right places.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
James Bond bunny.
James Bunny. That's good.
And I'll show. Let's see. The next one is what is this guy?
That's cool.
It was Bunny Plitskin.
With the patch. That's good. The watch.
And this is Bunny Anderson.
Mr. Anderson. Yeah.
And this is Bun Solo.
Oh, damn, that's good. Yeah, the blaster. Wow. The shirt and the man, that's really good.
And
Very
since
cool.
it's all vector, you can
Just switch the outfits, change the certain.
pull it around, switch the outfits, change pull shapes. The works. Here's the coloring for the gun.
Wow, that's yeah, that's really good coloring. Wow.
Just just a little bit at a time. You build it up.
Yeah, layer by layer. So how long does it typically take you to finish like just one page?
Oh, I don't treat the page the way normal artists treat it. I every panel in the book, I treat it like I would be drawing a cover, and it depends. It's all over the place, but every panel is like drawing a cover. There's 3D photography, illustrative art, graphic art. It takes about anywhere between 3 to 4, maybe 6 hours. Sometimes on a panel. Sometimes it's real quick.
Nice.
Like from start to finish, the coloring and everything?
Yeah, from scratch
wow.
to finish.
That's actually much faster than I thought it was going to take about a couple days, honestly.
Oh no! It's not like you do a pencil, then you hand it off to the inker, and then you hand it off to a colorist, and then the letterer.
I guess with the computer, it makes it quicker. You can streamline things faster.
Well, I'm doing the whole thing, so I know where I need to do what, and to be economic. And the interesting thing about this is that, well, it's fun. The part where it's really clever, actually, is something like this. Give me a sec. Let me share some random panels out of this.
Hail, CJ.
Single page. So what you're seeing here is the 3D elements in the background.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right, and the character. Well, let's see. Let's pull. I don't even know what this is. I'm just pulling it up randomly. Okay, similar thing. Let's see what else is. Oh yeah, here's. I remember this number. Yes, there we go.
Back to the Future too.
Yeah, I made a gag on Back to the Future, Star Wars, all in one ship. I got
it's like the Falcon. Yeah.
What else? So this took a while because I'd had to design the ship and render it out, and then put the characters in place and all that stuff. So this took time. And
so you use the 3D modeling for the ship and the characters, and then you use the Illustrator to color everything?
No, just the 3D models are
just the ships.
Ships, props,
backgrounds. Okay, got it.
These cells here that you see, these are 3D models. Right?
Okay, and then you draw the figures. Okay.
Everything else is painted, and it's creating all these assets. There we go. There's another one.
Mm-hmm.
This was a very simple one. I just took a field of grass. I posterized it. I blew out the details, and then I gave it 3 different colors.
Wow.
The electricity is a photograph that I kind of ripped apart, and this is what you get. What else?
Wow.
Let's pull out one more randomly. Oh yeah, this was simple. This is inside the big spaceship that I showed you.
Yep.
And this is just a quick render of one of the hallways, and then I just put the characters over it. I drew them over it.
Nice.
So it's a plus and a minus. No, it's a give and take, so to speak. I want to maintain consistency and on model with everything that I do in my book. And when I'm drawing spaceships or props or locations, I want it to be consistent from one panel to the other. I don't want to sit there and redraw a location from a different angle by hand. It will never be consistent.
Yeah. But doing it this way, it's all mathematical, so it's using the vector.
Yeah, see that hallway?
Yeah.
Same hallway, different angle. This is a simple shot. Let's see what else I got.
I like the cave. It's cool.
Yeah, this was partial. This right here, this part here was what I took from a royalty-free image of a desert, and then let's see, and then I just started ripping it apart and created all these elements around it.
Wow. So the only part of that was from a real image. The rest of it you just created?
Yeah, you saw how I took a piece of the stuff and just pulled it out?
Yeah.
Exactly like that. This year, the background, snow from just, what do you call it? The dune. Actually, it was sand dune. I made it white.
Huh. Oh, wow.
This is just a combination of just graphic design and art. Here's just the spaceship itself.
Yeah, that spaceship is cool.
And one more for the road.
That's cool. Wow, that's so impressive.
That's the stuff that I've been doing for a very long time. And this time around, the second book, I want to do something special. Figurines, cute little figurines, and a spaceship as well. So I'm fridge magnets, trading cards, interesting stuff.
Yeah, I mean it really is. It's really cool. Have you now on your website?
I think I need to get Illustrator now.
Yeah.
You do. I keep championing Illustrator to everybody I speak to. Because
hey, Noel's got to take off. Hey, Noel, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody where you can be found? Those of you in the chat that's not subbed to Noel's channel, the Tardis Zone official YouTube channel, check him out.
Yeah, listen, just thanks for having me on. It was really enjoyable, and thanks for sharing your artwork as well, George. It's fantastic, and thanks for the demonstration as well. I actually have to say, if I wasn't as tired as I was, I'd hang on a little bit more because this was a very good stream. I really appreciate it, and
appreciate you coming on, man.
No problem. And you can catch me on the Tardis Zone if you like what you heard tonight from myself. Please do so, and don't forget to support everybody here as well on the panel. Thanks very much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great having you on.
Take care, man.
Thanks. I'll see you all very soon.
Have a great sleep.
Good night or good morning, I guess.
Good morning / night.
Good night, morning.
Yeah, good morning. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. What a great guy.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun having him on.
Yeah.
I always like talking with people that have accents because I always find accents fascinating. I like to listen to people with accents talk.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah, it just sounds like they just are so much smarter. They just know what they're talking about, even if they don't with the accent. I mean, he did, but, like in all cases, it just sounds like, oh, yeah, you're right. I trust you because you sound smart. That accent.
Yes, that's right. I believe you. 1 + 1 = 3. You're absolutely correct.
You're right. I've had it wrong my whole life. George, are you going to do like T-shirts with your Joe King character?
Oh, I already have T-shirts on my Teespring store.
Oh, your is that not on your website? Or maybe I missed the link to it.
No, I don't have it on my website. Give me a second.
Oh, okay. That's why.
I wanted to keep the store separate from the comic book because it's a consistent seller, but people look at it and go, "Oh, you're over merchandising it all." So I go, "Yeah, that's right." Here's in the private chat. You can click and share in the link.
I'll share that in our chat here.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's good. I seen you put a little clip up, CJ. It's good. Keep at it, man.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yep. All right, there it is in the chat. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Oh, you've got everything. Oh, coffee mug. Oh. Sucker for coffee mugs.
Yeah, the old-fashioned high five.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm thinking of something just popped into my attention in the last week. Is that Black Lives Matter has been supported by so many organizations, including Kickstarter and Indiegogo.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of really bugged me because of all, it's like the organization, despite what people think and stuff like that, all this unrest, just the very act of trying to destroy the world through proxy, it really bugs me. But it's like someone telling you what to do,
right?
And you have no choice, but you have to do it. And now it's like people are donating to the very proxy that champions the destruction of the way of life.
Yeah. But they don't know it. A lot of them.
That's the thing. That's the thing that just baffles me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're doing it unaware.
Yeah, you sit there. People are there protesting and all that stuff, and they have expensive shoes and iPhones, and they go home to a house, and they're able to fill their bellies up with food and shelter and clothing, and they don't realize the very thing that they're doing is they're going to destroy the very thing that has made them secure in life. You're not going to have an iPhone in the world that they're championing.
Nope.
You're not going to have those expensive shoes, those Jordans, at all.
I mean, the very like the height of the hypocrisy is when they were, had that Chaz or the Chop Zone, whatever the frick they called it, and as soon as they ran into trouble, they were screaming to defund the police, and as soon as there were gunshots, they were calling for the police. Why aren't the police here? Why isn't 911? Why isn't the emergency ambulance here? Where are the paramedics? Well, I'm sorry, but first you declared yourself an autonomous zone. Second, you're trying to defund the police. You can't then go and say, we want the police here. They're not doing their jobs. I mean, that's the height of hypocrisy.
Totally. But, gentlemen, I submit to you that when they created that autonomous zone, the very first thing they did was put up a border.
Yeah, I know, which is ironic, too, because that's, yeah.
The second thing they did was collect as many guns as they could.
Yep.
Third thing they did was they segregated the people inside based on race.
Yeah. I mean, right. It's everything that they say they stand against. You're right. That's.
It's like Mark Twain said, it's easier to fool a man than it is to convince him he's being fooled.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's really good quote.
If you guys in the chat, when the show's over, if you refresh the page, you will find Joe King apparel in the info below, and you will find Noel's YouTube channel below as well. And you'll find George's website in the list of YouTube channels that are below that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I've had it there since the first time you were on the channel.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm sincerely grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, pretty much everybody that I stream with, all their links are down there.
Well, I noticed that, but I just never really actually paid attention to look for myself.
Yeah, so that way, whenever anyone stops by, they want to find everyone's information that's already there.
That's cool. Thank you.
Hey, no problem.
I need to get better about that.
Swim together or sink together,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's 1 a.m. I think I'm gonna call it a night as well.
Yeah, I should probably get going myself here. But this has been riveting. This has been fascinating, George, watching you work and how watching your character come to life.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that was amazing.
I mean, we definitely have to stream again. I'm just kind of in awe.
And next time around, I'll show you a 3D character.
Oh.
All right.
Why does it do that when you undo a window? When you reduce it down, it always does that every time.
It starts playing.
Oh, especially if it's the middle of the night and you realize the window's open, you shrink it down and it blares your ears. Yeah, it gets you every time. So let's see here. I think we'll go with this. All right. We will, let me get that expanded. All right. So we will rock this one out, and thank you, chat. Tyler Mongo. Without you guys, it wouldn't be no fun. So we're going to play this here song and rock out the end of the show.
Hail to the best chat on YouTube.
Hail to that.
Absolutely.
Hail. Yep.
You gotta write the script, you need a script doctor. Welcome to the after show, waiting for the gig. We're waiting on the rig. We all had things to say. We all know it's true. We raised our glass, we raised them high, till we seen dawn's light. You gotta write the script, you need a script doctor. Welcome to the after show, waiting for the kick. We're waiting for the rig. We all had things to say, we all know it's true. We raised our glass, we raised them high, till dawn's light. You gotta write the script, you need a script doctor. Welcome to the after show, waiting for the gig, waiting on the rig. We all had things to say. We all know it's true. We raised our glass high till we seen dawn's light. Gotta write the script, you need a script doctor. Welcome to the after show, waiting for the gig, waiting on the rig. We all had things to say. We all know it's true. We raised our glass high till dawn's light. We raised our glasses. Gotta write the script, you need a script doctor. Welcome to the after show. Waiting for the gig, waiting on the rig. We had some things to say, we know it's true. We raised our glass, we raised them high, till we seen dawn's light. You gotta write the script, you need a script doctor. Welcome to the after show. There's a storm coming, the north wind is blowing, clouds are forming, thunder's on its way, time's running backwards, what's flying in the light? Lightning and eagles dancing in the sky, dodging and diving on the wind, travel through my eye, winds are gathering, it's time to call a gathering. There's a storm coming, the north wind is blowing, clouds are forming, thunder's on its way, time's running backwards, what's flying in the light? Lightning and eagles dancing in the sky, dodging and diving on the wind, travel through my eye, winds are gathering, it's time to call a gathering. There's a storm coming, the wind is blowing, clouds are forming, it's on its way. Time running backward, what's flying in the light? Lightning and eagles dancing on the sky, dodging and diving on the wind. Travel through my eye, winds are gathering. It's time to call a gathering. There's a storm coming, the north wind is blowing, clouds are forming, thunder's on its way, time's running backwards, what's flying in the light? Lightning and eagles dancing in the sky, dodging and diving on the wind, travel through my eye, winds are gathering, it's time to call a gathering. There's a storm coming, the north wind is blowing, clouds are forming, thunder's on its way, time's running backwards, what's flying in the light? Lightning and eagles dancing in the sky, dodging and diving on the wind, travel through my eye, winds are gathering, it's time to call a gathering. There's a storm coming, the north wind is blowing, clouds are forming, thunder's on its way, time's running backwards, what's flying in the light? Lightning and eagles dancing in the sky, dodging and diving on the wind. All right, just for giggles, if I can get pop up. Here, we'll do this one. We're next. A little bit of Johnny B. Good flavor now. Movie and a unicorn, bring me a popcorn. I saw unicorns and friend. All I had was a grand. Making an Exodus movie show was getting good. I got my popcorn. Hot summer, got a beat, got some heat, can't beat it. Add this to your playlist, do you understand the music show? Apocalyptic movie show. I got my popcorn 2 degrees. Nothing like watching this movie show. So many to choose from. Got my popcorn, yeah. Hope you got your popcorn too. Living in a post-apocalyptic movie show. The movie and a unicorn, movie and a popcorn, movie and a popcorn. I saw a unicorn in San Fran. All I had was a grin. Making a Exodus movie show is getting good. Got my popcorn getting really deep. It got some heat, can't beat it. Add this to your list. Do you understand the music from the apocalyptic movie show? I got my popcorn too. 100 degrees, nothing like watching a movie show. So many to choose from. Got my popcorn, yeah. Hope you got your popcorn, yeah. Living in a popcorn movie show. Movie and a unicorn. Movie and a unicorn show. All right. Good night, all. Thanks for coming, and we appreciate you. Best chat on YouTube. And thank you for coming out. Appreciate you. Thanks, panel, for hanging out and having fun, and because that's what we like to do. We like to have fun, have some giggles, and, put some good jokes out there.
Great show. It's a great show, guys.
All these fine gentlemen can be found in the info below. And why don't you guys go ahead and real quick tell them where you can be found, and we will say adieu.
GeorgePeterGatsis.com.
YouTube.com/Wes Moody Webcast. See ya.
FinalDeathStar on the YouTube. Thanks for watching, guys. It was a great show. Great show. Thanks, George. That was an amazing demonstration. You continue to be one of our most fascinating, if not our most fascinating guests that we have on here.
Shucks.
I'll second that.
Indeed.
Seriously, we will. I can't wait to have you back on again.
Yeah, for sure. Indeed.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. Soon.
Yeah, soon.
So, chat, we appreciate you. We thank you, because without you, it wouldn't be a thing. It wouldn't be fun. Of course, you know where I'm at. I'm right here. Ghost Bear signing out. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Go